going to be. He gets away from one tackle. Lefty still running. Cuts back up. Lefty still on his feet. Lefty still on his feet. He's down the sideline. He's headed for pay dirt. Touchdown, Dragons! And back here at Upperman High School, we're getting set for action tonight. Now, these two teams last year, it was a dogfight up at York, as York winning 48-31 in that one. And then in the history between these two teams, Gary, now since 2004, not 1904. That'd be a long time if we had from 1904, but since 2004, York is 9-6, but they've lost 2 out of the last 6 against won 2 out of the last 6 against Upperman.
Yeah, 2-4 in the last 6 games, Gary, and Upperman plays a little different style than anybody York plays all year long. It takes a different preparation to get ready for this.
Now, Gary, if you look at these two teams this season, Upperman's scoring 39 points a game, and they're allowing 19 points a game, while York is averaging 34 points a game, but they're allowing Upperman is allowing 3.2 for average, and York 7.2. So both have great defenses, but Upperman has been doing an excellent job on defense.
Yeah, they have, and this like any other game that we've been to this year, Gary, and York's been in some good ball games. It's going to be one on the line of scrimmage. It'll be one on the offensive and defensive lines, and probably for the first time all year last week, York didn't necessarily dominate the line of scrimmage.
Now, Gary, these two teams are in District 8, 3A, and you got at the top of that is York and Upperman, both at 2-0. But don't count out Sequatchie County. Sequatchie County, a very good team. They're 1-0 in the district. You got Grundy County 0-1, Smith 0-2, Cannon 0-2. And there's some good teams still yet to play this season for York after tonight.
Yeah, there is. This is really the midpoint of the season, Gary, tonight, and we're headed on the back half of the schedule now, and York still got 3 region games to play, and it's there's still a lot of football left to play either way tonight for either team.
We're going to take a timeout as they get ready to flip the coin, and we'll be back with the decision on that right after this.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
And, Gary, we're getting ready for the coin toss here. York coming out tonight. This is, we mentioned it being a huge game. There's some other big games, though, going on tonight. Pickett County's at Republic tonight. Pickett County wins. They may get a playoff spot, Gary.
Yeah, reaching game there against Republic, and opportunity for, Pickett County to make their way into the playoffs.
Next week's homecoming opponent, Wartburg, is hosting Cumberland Gap tonight. Sequatchie at Smith County. That's going to be a telltale sign of what the Indians have this season. You got Livingston at DeKalb. Cannon's hosting Grundy County. Cumberland County's at Meigs. Coalfield is hosting Midway, and Oneida's at Rockwood. But, Gary, this one's the big game as far as the state's considered, the big game of the season.
It is a big game of the week, anyhow, and, this is a style that York hadn't seen this year. Upperman's going to throw the ball quite a bit. They're going to play 4 wide receivers, and they've got a great quarterback in Donovan McAllister, and, they got guys that can catch it in Jake Pentland, Duke Marsh, and Cole Bush, as well as Sidney Brewington. All 4 of those guys can catch the football.
We may have nailed that roster down. It wants to keep moving on us. We'll put it underneath there, and that way it can't move.
The challenge tonight's going to be on the York defensive backfield. The kids like Dalton Barker, the freshman, and Jacoby Allen and Johan West. Those guys are going to have to step up and play great tonight.
Hey, a big thank you to Progressive Savings Bank. This has been the Progressive pregame show, and now our sponsors for our live broadcast, Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union in Clark Range, State Representative John Mark Wendell, Fitness Farmers Co-op, Hall's Family Pharmacy, First Volunteer Bank, Pizza Hut, Condition Heating and Cooling, Minna Thrift Pharmacy, Twin Lakes, Casey Frontier Chevrolet, Jamestown Regional Medical Center, Federal County Executive Jimmy Johnson, Southeast Drywall, State Representative Kelly Keesling, State Senator Ken Yeager, and our halftime stats brought to you by the good folks at Old Ben Franklin Ford in Wartburg. Player of the game from tonight that will be picked. It'll be by Hall's Family Pharmacy and Union Bank, our sponsors for Friday Night Thunder and for the Coach Darwin Wright Sports Show each Monday. We're getting set to get this one underway here in just a second. And, Gary, I didn't see the coin toss. Did you catch who won the coin toss?
I did not see who actually won. I'm going to assume Upperman did because they're kicking off. York's going to receive.
So York is going to receive the football to start the game. And York likes to have that second half kickoff, don't they?
They do. Usually most teams like to play defense and try to make a stop early and get field position, and no different here, but Upperman going to kick this one off to York.
Well, guys, I hope you're ready because it's time to line them up, kick it off, and get it on. It's a big Region 3A matchup, and Gary back for York. It looks like Miller and Lathan Drake. And I got to say, this field looks pretty good for all the rain we've had lately.
It looks exceptional, and walked on the edge of it out there, and it wasn't a wet track. And, York to kick off the return will be, it's crucial here. Drake or Thomas Miller, whoever gets this ball, got to get up the field and get a good return for York.
And also, Gary, tonight's going to be crucial not to have those turnovers that York had last week.
Yeah, it is. They had two. You got to play ball control, and you got to take care of the football.
Ready to kick it off is Trey Krolik. Krolik going to kick it away. Lathan Drake and Thomas Miller are back. Here we go. We're underway, and the opening kick's going to be a line drive, and it's going to go out of bounds, so York will get it at the 35. And, Gary, that's another way you want to start the game with a penalty.
Well, no, you don't. But for York, that's the good news. He's going to start the 35 here, 1st and 10, and that's a break for York to start the game.
So York will have it at the 35, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Dragons. And we got, let's see, got a different number for Josiah Hiddings. He's number 80 tonight, is what they told us before the game. So he's going to be wearing it. And now they're going to move it on up to the 35. They set it at the 30, but they'll give them 5 more yards, and York will have it 1st and 10 at the 35. And here we go. The York Dragons got big Josiah Hiddings in the backfield. Landrick Lefew under center. Got a man in motion in Miller. Miller's going to roll out to the left. And Lefew takes the snap, hands it off to Cole Cooper. He's going to be hit from behind, but he's going to push forward for about 3, Gary, and that was good D by the Bees.
Yeah, they had him stacked up at the line of scrimmage trying to run that off the right tackle, Gary, and managed to pull a couple of defenders for about 3 yards.
So Cole Cooper gets a 3-yard gain, and it's going to be 2nd and 7 now for the Dragons. And they gave him kind of a different look at wing formation when they moved Miller out to the left side.
Yeah, put him in motion, gave the option to pass there, and it's elected to run, Gary.
This time they're going to hand it to Miller on the left side. He's trying to skirt the outside, slipped a little bit, and he is going to be dropped. And, Gary, there's that wet turf jumping up and biting you.
Yeah, it slipped a little, allowed the defenders to collapse, just really couldn't recover from that, Gary. That's about a loss of a yard there.
So it's going to make it 3rd and long for the Dragons in their first possession. Gary, in this situation with the field conditions the way they are, that sets up great for those little screen passes and maybe some short passes and just see if they can get some rack yards.
Yeah, and everything's being overplayed right now too, Gary, so misdirection would be good as well.
And this time they're going to hand it off to the jackhammer. He's through one, through another. He's still on his feet, leans forward, but he's not going to get the first down. He's going to pick up about 4. And Josiah Hiddings finally brought down, Gary, at about the 42-yard line. Dragons going to have it 4th down, their first 4th of the night.
Yeah, about 4th and 3. Good, strong run by Josiah there, pick up 5 yards. But 4th and 3 here in York, first decision of the night, out near midfield. They're lining up like they're going to go for it here, Gary.
And, Gary, I think they've noticed that the Upperman defense a little antsy out there. They may hard count them here.
Yeah,
try to get them to jump.
Off sides.
York's going to go at 4th and 4 from their own 42. They got a man in motion. They'll give it off to Cooper, and Cooper's not going to get it, not even close, as he's going to come up about 2 yards short, Gary. And York rolls the dice and comes up snake eyes.
Yeah, he made a good leap at it, but just come up about a yard short, Gary. They had him in the backfield. He drug him for a couple of yards, just couldn't get the last one.
So the Dragons roll those bones on the first one, and they come up short, and now the Upperman Bees going to take it over at York's 44-yard line, where they'll have outstanding field position. And up for the Bees at quarterback, you're going to have Donovan McAllister, and in the backfield, Blake Metzger, and also two in the backfield. They
also, Metzger's the tailback, looks like
They're going to quick out over to the right side to number 4. He's got some running room, still on his feet all the way down to the 20-yard line. And a good play that time as they set up Cole Bush, and Bush with a big run.
Yeah, they had a blocker out there on the cornerback, and just wasn't a contest. Actually, Lathan Drake had to come over and make the tackle after about a 25-yard gain.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 just inside the red zone for the Upperman Bees in this first drive. York went for it on 4th down, gave it up to the Bees, and now they're marching toward the end zone. It'll be in the shotgun this time. Going back is Marish. And now he's going to take snap. He's going to keep it himself, dances up to the 10. He's going to have another 1st down inside the 10, Gary.
Yeah, he is. A good run. Just stepped over the defender and made the linebacker miss, and Drake back there to clean up again. But Upperman's first and goal here on about the 9-yard line.
And Gary, you don't like to hear the word your safety coming up making the tackle.
No, that means that the runner's got 6, 8, 10 yards at least by that time, Gary. So yeah, you want your line and your linebackers making those tackles.
McAllister in the shotgun now. He's got Metzger beside him. He will hand it off to Metzger, and he'll bang, go straight ahead, still on his feet. Now he's going to finally be stacked up at about the 6-yard line. Going to make it 2nd and goal.
Cole Cooper had him for a couple of yard loss, Gary. Hit him, but he didn't go down, spun off of it, and he managed to get a couple of yards.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and about 6 from the 6 as they got 2nd and goal now. And they're going to mark him right at the 5, so he's going to be 5 yards from pay dirt on this one. Up will come McAllister in the shotgun. He's got Metzger to his right. Snap, they'll hand it to Metzger, and he gets around. He's going to dive in the end zone for a touchdown, Upperman. The Bees are on the scoreboard, Gary, and that one was almost too easy.
It was, barely touched getting in the end zone. Good blocking by their offensive line, and they whooped York's defensive line on this first drive, Gary.
So now the Bees going to try to add the extra point. And I believe that's number 11 going back. Sydney, is it number 11? It's going to be kicking. Yeah. Brewington going to be kicking the extra point.
No,
14.
14.
Trey Crowley. That's who the kicker is. Crowley going to kick the extra point here. And the snap is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. And Upperman takes an early 7-0 lead with 8:26 to go in the first.
The kids are back in school and the weather's turning cooler. And that can only mean one thing. Flu season will start soon. This year, Hall Family Pharmacy wants to help you fight the flu. Getting a flu shot means that you are 60% less likely to get the flu virus. This year at Hall Family Pharmacy, we are excited to make a $1 donation to the local children's shopping spree for each flu shot we give. So don't let the flu knock you out, and come by Hall Family Pharmacy for your annual flu shot. You won't be the only one glad you did.
Well, the Upperman Bees march it down and stick it in for the first touchdown of the game, Gary. And the Bees got great field position and then didn't have far to march.
No, they didn't, Gary. Got it on their own 44-yard line, or got it on York's 44-yard line, and 6 plays later they're in the end zone. Had a 25-yard pass on 1st down, ran it the rest of the way in.
And now York's got to try to answer as they will drop back Drake and also Miller. As Krolik will kick it off here in just a moment. Upperman on top, 7-0. Just underway in this one, and the Bees are on the scoreboard. And Gary York's got to find an answer to that. We seen that last week with number 5 from Oneida. He ran pretty hard in that first series too. Was able to get some big points.
He was. The first half belonged to him. York got to make the adjustments quicker this week, Gary.
So now Krolik will kick it away as back is Drake and Miller. And the kick is going to be driven deep, and that one's going to be taken at Miller at the 12. Miller at the dozen mark, gets up over the 20 to the 25, and there he's dropped. And good job on the defense by the Bees, Gary.
Yeah, it was. You know, they controlled all the running lanes, and the wedge come down and busted up the play, Gary. And, you know, Miller gets about a 15-yard return. So
I promise, Gary, I'm going to use this one time now. They swarmed to the ball that time. Had to use it once anyway. So the Bees now see the Dragons come up now. New York trailing at 7-0, staying their own 26-yard line. It'll be Lefeview under center. And he's got Miller in motion. He'll fake it, and Lefeview going to keep it. He'll pitch the last second to Miller. He's down the sideline, and he's going to be close to a first down before he's ran out of bounds. I'm not sure. Well, no, they mark him back. Got about 6 on the carry, Gary.
Yeah, so he stepped out of bounds, about a 6-yard run. Good option play, though, and Lefeview waited to the last minute to pitch that. And as a quarterback, that's hard to do, Gary, because you're taking a hit at that point. But, you know, a well-executed play, about 6 yards for York.
Give up yourself for that one, as now it's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Dragons. 2nd and 4, and they got a man motion. He'll hand it. No, it's going to be Lefeview on the other side. Now Lefeview going to tuck it and run, and Lefeview just runs over number 25 and going to get the first down up to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, good play by Lefeview. Just lowered his helmet, shoulder pad right in the sternum of Connor Bryant, and got a couple extra yards.
I say Connor Bryant won't need anything to eat tonight because I think he's got the taste knocked out of his mouth. That one was one of those slobber knocker hits.
Yeah, he lowered his shoulder and went into him. Knew the tackle was coming, got a couple extra yards out of it. Gary.
So the Coal Train gets the first down for the Dragons, and here we go. In motion this time. Lefty's going to keep it. He's going to roll this time. He's keeping it again, and he's going to rumble up for about 4 before he's brought down. And Gary, York seemed to go into the option about on every play now.
Yeah, they're trying to widen the field a little bit, Gary, and make them cover the pitch man as well. And they're covering the pitch man, which is allowing Leftview to turn it up the field, and they're getting positive yards out of it.
2nd and about 6 now for the Dragons. 2nd and 6 as up will come Leftview. Leftview under center. Got a man in motion. He's going to hand it out to Miller, left side. Miller trying to skirt the outside. He's got some room. He's up, got the first down, and a little bit more maybe he got. And I believe he lost the football, Gary. And I think York must have got it back, or he was out of bounds when he lost it.
Yeah, I think he was out of bounds. I was trying to see there, and York going to retain possession.
York now in Bees territory, Gary. They're at the 46, and
that was another first down too. So you're moving the chains. So
good job by Thomas Miller on the run. And now it's going to be Leftview coming under center. He's got headings right behind him. They're putting in motion this time. They're going to get it off to Cooper. Cooper going to be stacked right at the line of scrimmage, Gary, and he had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
No, he didn't, and maybe got a yard out of it. Depends on where they. No, probably nothing where they're marking it. No gain. But
they're actually going to say he lost a little bit, maybe. They're putting, no, they're going to put it right at where he's at. So he got stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
But nowhere to run on that one. Now, running out of that wing tee and trying to give the handoff over the backside, and they met him right when he got the ball.
So now up will come the Dragons. They've got it 2nd and 10. York got a man in motion. That's going to be Leftview pitching it out. Miller's going to get hit way behind the line of scrimmage. Can't get away, and he is dropped all the way back and fumbles the football. And are they going to get the Bees come up with it? I don't think they're going to whistle it dead, though. Actually, his forward momentum had stopped about 4 yards up there, Gary. And
actually, I think they're going to mark this on up about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, so he lost a big chunk of yardage there, dropped about 8 as they read that one well, Gary.
They did. They were, that was a little slow developing, Gary, and gave defense a chance to collapse on it, and they did. They just strung it out to the sideline, nowhere to run.
3rd and about 18 now for the Dragons, 16-18.
3rd and 16.
So 3rd and 16 as up will come Leftview under center. Leftview got a man in motion. Now Miller going to reverse it to Cooper. Cooper trying to get to the outside. He's got him one man to beat. Anyway, he coughs up the football, and the Beast lose it out of bounds. And I guess it'll stay York ball, but they'll be down well short of the first down, Gary.
Yeah, well, they'll mark it where he fumbled it at, actually, because it did get fumbled forward out of bounds. So I think they're going to mark this at the 49-yard line.
And York has got a 4th and long, and we seen them go for it in that first time, Gary. I don't think we'll see that again.
It's 4th and 13 from about the 49, so we'll see. Referee's talking this over about where the spot should be.
So we'll see, and they are going to mark it.
They're going to talk as a group here.
Yeah, they're going to huddle up and talk about it for a minute. So we can talk about it. I think they had it marked about right, Gary, where he actually went down.
We'll see where they mark this at.
They're going to show it. It's still going to be 4th and long regardless.
Yeah, you're looking at 4th. Even if they mark it where it went out of bounds, which looks like they're going to do, which is about the 40-yard line. Still going to be about 4th and 4 here.
But that's a much more manageable thing. But right off the bat, Gary, the one thing we said York can't do is cough up the football, and they've done it twice now.
Yeah, they did, and that's going to be marked the 42.5-yard line, Gary, so it's 4th and about 6.5 here.
I bet you couldn't tell which section we're sitting in, Gary, from the boos on that one.
No, they didn't like that. I should have been spotted where it went out of bounds, so good call by the officials.
Well, the jackhammer, Josiah Headey's going to step back to punt it away. And York needs a good punt here. The Bees on top, 7-0 with 5:04 left to go. And I think they're going to put a little more time on it.
Yeah, I think they're looking at getting 5:14, I think is what they said,
So
about 10 seconds add to the clock.
So we'll wait till they get that set. But right now, Gary, York's in a little bit of disarray as far as offensively. They've dropped the ball twice now and just not been able to get anything going, really.
Yeah, they have, struggling. They've moved the ball a little bit at times, but really struggled on defense on that first possession, Gary. So, got to shore up the defense here. You hope to punt them deep and give your defense a chance.
I guess that's Brewington back deep, and now they get the punt off, and that one's going to hit and roll, and York's letting it roll backwards. You don't want to do that.
There's a flag down here. They dropped it right by the punter, so I'm not sure if York didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage or what the deal might be, but he dropped the flag.
We'll see what the call is. This could be big as
he was counting heads, so they may have been.
They're going to wipe it off. They say no call.
He was counting heads. He must have counted wrong. So he counted again and picked the flag up.
He must have needed one more finger or something. Going 1st and 10 for the Bees. That one's right at the 12-yard line now. 5:05 left to go in the first, and Gary, right now the Dragons are on their heels.
They are. You got to shore up the line here and get a stop, Gary. They done a little swing pass on this on the first drive, and then they ran it 5 straight times. You got to shore up the defense here.
And you're going to have to get Barger a little bit closer to that receiver because he's sitting out there wide open and going to hang right off the middle of Metzger, and Metzger going to get maybe a couple of yards.
Yeah, about 2 on that one. Looks like maybe 3, but good job by the York defense. Didn't let him get through the line of scrimmage.
But York's Barger's playing way off that wide receiver, Gary, and if he can get that quick out, he's got about 5 or 6 yards before anybody can get to him.
Yeah, playing well off of him, respecting the speed of Cole Bush there. And, we did see on that first drive, that first play, he does have outstanding speed.
So now McAllister back in the shotgun, rolls out. He's looking deep. Got a man out there, and almost a great catch. Good try there by
that was
Bush.
Yeah, Bush made a leaping diving attempt at it. Got a hand on it, just couldn't pull it in, Gary.
Now, Gary, here's where York needs to stop and get the ball back in better field position.
Yeah, they do. 3rd and 8 here. A little bit of a long yardage situation. You need to stop them here and get the defense off the field.
So York now Upperman with a 3rd and 8. Upperman on top, 7-0 early in this one. Titans game of the week for high school football. Going back is McAllister in the shotgun. Got Metzger behind him. They'll roll out, and they'll roll out, rolling. He slips a little bit, now cuts it back inside, and he's going to get the enough for the first down, Gary, as he gets all the way up. Quick on, it comes loose again, but Upperman right there to pick it up.
Yeah, the ball fumbled as he was going down, but number 11, Sidney Brinton, able to fall on it. But he's the only guy in a whole bunch of York guys around that football.
And that was a big run for them, got them out of the deep hole. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 28.
Yeah, big run, scrambling run. Nobody throw the ball to, and as the pocket collapsed, he was able to run through it and got a big gain before he fumbled.
So now it'll be Metzger back in the shotgun. Got our Metzger in the from McAllister. McAllister going to have now quick out again to Bush. Bush headed up the sideline. He's got some running room, and he's taking off, and they aren't going to get him, Gary. He's going to rumble all the way to the end zone for a touchdown, Bees.
Yeah, they done the same play they did on the first play of the game, Gary. They faked the handoff and just flipped it out there. I mean, it's a wounded duck getting out there. But once he gets it and he's got a blocker, he just runs straight up the sidelines, and that time 72 yards for a touchdown.
And we seen the speed of Bush there. Bush was sprinting down the field. Nobody's going to get to him.
Thomas Miller gave him a good run, but he was too far away to catch him.
And now it's going to be a 13-0 in favor of Upperman as going back to kick will be Krolik. Krolik looking to give his team a 14-0 lead with this one. And they're set. The snap, the kick is up, is good. Upperman with 3:41 leads York 14-0.
Ventures Farmers Co-op, happy to be a proud sponsor of York Dragon football. We wish you a winning season. Every game is a success when you have played your best. Ventures Farmers Co-op bringing you quality products from feed, seed, and fertilizer to automotive, to animal health and pet products, to gas, diesel, and propane, to clothing and boots for the family and a gift shop. All this and much more at Ventures Farmers Co-op, 1219 Old Highway 127 South, Jamestown. Go Dragons!
Well, Gary, the York Dragons are just stunned here in this first quarter, already trailing 14-0. They've never been in this situation this year.
No, haven't been down 2 scores, Gary, and Upperman's moved the ball effectively both times they've had the ball. 3rd and long, got the first down, and then threw a little swing pass for the touchdown, long touchdown run. And York, first time all year in a little bit of a hole here. We'll see how they respond.
And York now trailing 14-0 here with 3:41 left to go in the first quarter. York has got to hang on to the football. They've dropped it twice. Luckily, it hasn't been a turnover, but they put it on the ground twice. Upperman's put it on the ground once. And back to kick is Krolik. You got Drake and Miller back deep. Here we go. The official says ready to kick, and they'll come up on it and make the kick, and that's going to be over toward Miller, and we got a penalty flag before everybody gets started on this one.
Yeah, they're going to call them for a false, they said offsides. It's a false start because they're kicking off, but they'll have to move back and kick 5 yards deeper.
I think they had one guy start a little bit quicker than the kicker.
Yeah, and, you can't cross the line of field where the ball's being kicked from before it's kicked, so got caught on that one.
So now it's going to be back to the 35-yard line, and York will move their guys up to about the 15. Drake and Miller back deep. It will be Drake and Miller to kick it off, or to return here, as kicking it off will be Krolik.
Yeah, York, opportunity for a good return here. Hopefully get out around the 40-yard line or so at least, and get a drive going here.
York got to get something going offensively. Really struggling at this point. As kicking it away will be Krolik. Krolik comes up on, approaches the kick. Going to be a line drive right at Miller at the 10-yard line. He'll come up to the 20, 25 up to the 30. Still on his feet. Gets up to about the 32 before he's brought down. It's going to be 1st and 10 Dragons at their own 32. And Gary, this is one of those situations where York needs to put some points on the board early.
Yeah, you do. You got to move the ball here, get a drive together, and get points out of it, Gary. And You know, the 5 yards didn't matter. He kicked it just as deep as he's normally been kicking it, but Miller with a little better return that time. And York
And a face mask as well.
Yeah,
after the end of it.
yeah, so we're going to get a few extra yards here. We're going to get 15, actually, so it's not the inadvertent type. So York going to be out near midfield.
So York with their best field position all the way up to the 48-yard line, their own 48. Gary, they were in B territory last time and got drove back, so they've got to make something happen here.
Yeah, you know, the option play was working, Gary. We'll see, you know, if they're able to continue to run that.
Ben Cooper in now in the fullback position. Got Miller in motion. They're going to hand to Cooper up the middle, and Ben going to bang away. And Ben still on his feet. Will rumble up for about a dozen and get the first down for the Dragons.
Yeah, he runs all the way to the 38-yard line, Gary. That's a gain of actually 14 for Cooper, and he just took the fullback gut right up the middle. Great run by Cooper. Kept his legs moving, drove through. Big run for York.
Being a little bit different than Headings when he comes through. Headings a big guy. He's not hard to find, but Cooper's a little harder to find.
Yeah, and you know the holes aren't that big, Gary, so you got to hit them quick, and that was a good run. Good play by York and Ben Cooper.
Josiah back in now as York will get the snap in. Left you lose it, but falls on it. And Gary, York come up with a confectionery condition I like to call butterfingers.
Yeah, Lefty just dropped that snap, Gary. Hit him right in the hands. It was a good snap. Hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. Able to fall on it, though, and of course, no gain on the play.
And a loss of a down, so now it's 2nd and 10. Your coaches can't be happy with the fact they're dropping the football, though. That's something you don't want to do in a game this big. As up will come left, you got Drake spit out wide to the right. Miller in motion. They'll hand it up the middle to Josiah Headings. He gets through the first line, gets up to about the 29-yard line, and Gary, I think he's got enough for another first down.
Yeah, they're going to mark him between the 28 and 29. Actually, it might be close. I think they're marking it a little short right now.
So it's going to be
referee going to come up here. He's signaling 3rd down.
So just short for the Dragons. As up they'll come, Lefeview going to come under center, and
this got to be a quarterback sneak, Gary. You know,
but he can't go high like he did last week, Gary.
You need only about 6 inches here to get the first down.
No, it's going to be Lefeview on the keeper. He's going to bounce out to the left side, still on his feet. Gets up to about the 35, where the Dragons will have a 1st and 10, 25, I should say.
Yeah, gain of about 3 on that. He didn't actually sneak it. He stepped back a step and then tried to find a hole on the left side and found one over the left tackle. Dodged a guy and got 2 or 3 yards out of it. So great play by Lefeview. First down for York.
And York keeps the drive alive is the main thing. They need some points here, Gary. Already 2 touchdowns to start this ball game, and Upperman scoring on both possessions.
Yeah, you got to score, and this is going to be a scoring game. So, if you're York, you got to get points.
This time they're going to get off Cooper. Cooper lowers his shoulder. Cooper breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. He's heading to the end zone for a touchdown, Dragons.
Great run by Cole Cooper. He got away from 2 defenders at the line of scrimmage, broke free, and nobody touched him from there on, Gary, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown.
And that was the Cole train on the touchdown, and the Dragons cut it to a 1-possession game.
Good blocking by York line at the line of scrimmage, too, to get the hole, get it open. He had to make a couple of guys reaching out miss, but able to do that and got the touchdown.
And Johan West will try to add on the extra point. Kick is up. The kick is good with a $1:22 left to go in the first. It's a 14-7 Upperman lead.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium 2-topping Pizza Hut pizzas
For just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carry out.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium 2-topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges. A minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
Well, Gary, we were talking, that's the way to move the ball. York did an excellent job moving the ball that time, but they've got to get a stop as well. They've given up a touchdown on both possessions to Upperman.
They have, and that was great blocking by the York line, getting holes for the running backs, and the running backs making some guys miss as well. Ben Cooper, Josiah Headings, and then Cole Cooper at the end there on the big touchdown run. And, York on the scoreboard here, and the big thing is you got to make those adjustments on defense. You had them 3rd and long last time. Get them there again, but get the stop this time.
That's true. They've got to work on that quick outside pass. They've got to stop Bush. Bush is so wide open, you thought York owed him money. Nobody's close.
You're right. The Barger going to have to close that coverage down, and they're going to have to play over the top if they're afraid he might beat them deep.
And now the kick's going to be a line drive, going to take a big hop to the up man at the 20. He's up to the 30 and still on his feet, breaks the tackle. Then he's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 32-yard line as Lefevue comes up and put him out of bounds, Gary. But the Dragons will see the Bees with pretty good field position to start this one again.
Yeah, Caden Nash, the up man there on the carry. A big guy runs a little bit there. Had a good return. And, York starting, it's about between about the 39-yard line. So, York, York, a little bit of a shorter field again they're playing on.
So it's at the 39. It'll be actually 38. They're marking right at the 38. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 38. York needing to stop. McAllister in the shotgun. Got Metzger to his left. He fakes it to Metzger, takes off himself, and he spins, and he gets it leveled at the 45-yard line. Got just over the 45, Gary, close to a first down. He's going to have about 2nd and 3 to go.
Yeah, good stop by Landry Clefevue there to hit him hard. Gain of about 7 on first down for Upperman.
One thing York's going to have to do, Gary, when McAllister runs the ball, I know he likes to do that spin. If you can meet somebody in that spin, it's hard to hang on that football when you're trying to spin.
It is, but you gotta close the holes first, Gary. They've got lanes to run through here.
2nd and 3 now for the Bees at the 46-yard line. McAllister in the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Metzger. This time Metzger gets hit by Lefevue. Good job by Landry to come up and meet him there. Lefevue with a textbook tackle on that one.
Yeah, going to mark him a little short here, so it's going to be 3rd and about half a yard. York got him in a 3rd down opportunity again. This is probably an opportunity where you send a couple extra guys into the line of scrimmage, try to get a play, try to make a play.
So up will come the Bees. They've got this time going under center is McAllister, but we won't get a play off before the first quarter ends. We're through one. After one, it's 14-7. Upperman.
Your hospital in Jamestown has been tailoring its services to meet the needs of area residents for many years, and for one reason: to keep you, your family, and your neighbors healthy. Now we are proud to be serving our community once again as Jamestown Regional Medical Center. The two things that have always been at the core of your hospital: commitment and desire to make this community a healthier place to live. We are Jamestown Regional, a Renova Health company. Whether you're competing on the athletic field or working hard in the classroom, remember you have the support of First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. We're behind you 100% of the way. Good luck to all the area teams. Play tough and play fair. And remember, when it comes to helping you with your banking needs, we're First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And now over and over. It's First Volunteer for you.
Well, let's get set for the second quarter, Gary. Right now, Upperman needs just inches to get that first down.
Yeah, they do. It's 3rd and short here for Upperman to start this second quarter.
And they'll push it forward with the quarterback. He's going to get plenty of it. Gets into Dragon territory to about the 48. And once again, the Bees marching, Gary.
Yeah, they are. And they got a great push on the line of scrimmage there, Gary. And York didn't have an answer for it, and he gets about 5 yards on 3rd and inches.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Bees at York's 48-yard line. York's got to come up with something to stop this offensive charge of the Bees. It's 14-7, just starting quarter number 2. If you tuned in, Upperman scored on their first 2 possessions. York just picked up their first touchdown of the ball game. Snap back, they'll fake it, drop him back as McAllister. He's going to air it out, and York's got a man back there, and it's going to be caught at about the – no, he did not hang on to it. Oh, it hit the ground, Gary, and York got a big break on that one.
Yeah, that was intended for number 11, Sidney Brington, and York had defenders back there on all the receivers, but that was one-on-one coverage, and he had both hands on the ball going down, just couldn't hold on to it.
Barger was right there with him, though, Gary. He was right in his shirt, but that was a good throw from McAllister.
Yeah, it was. That was throw. That throw was about 45 yards, and it was on the money.
So now it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Bees. We'll see what they do here as they've got Metzger in the backfield. McAllister in the shotgun. York showing blitz. They're going to bring it in. Metzger going to go straight ahead for a couple. And, Gary, this is 3rd and long for the Bees, and this is where York definitely needs to stop.
Yeah, got about 3. It'll be 3rd and 7, but most importantly, York's had them here a couple of times and haven't been able to stop them, Gary. You got to make a stop right here.
Looking to see, Gary, I'm going to get somebody up close to Bush. You can't let him catch that little pass and get started down. Once he starts downfield and starts downhill, he's hard to stop.
Well, they've made a switch. They've moved Thomas Miller to his side of the field, and Barger's playing the other corner now, so we'll see how that changes things.
So now Miller over there, and we got a timeout called by Upperman. Timeout on the field. We got 10:39 to go in the first half, and it's a 14-7 Upperman lead.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. When you schedule your fall maintenance with Condition Heating and Cooling, they will clean, calibrate, test, and ensure your heating system is in proper working order. Let them find and correct issues before they become major problems. Or you can take advantage of discounts up to $1,000 on new energy-saving American Standard heating and air conditioning units. See dealer for details. Offer won't last long, so call to schedule your appointment today.
Call 879-5909. Conditioned heating and cooling.
Well, the Dragons now, Gary, needing to stop here as the Bees coming up with a 3rd down and about, it looks like 7 for the first down.
Yeah, 3rd and 7, and, we've seen Upperman in a 3rd and 8 got a 72-yard touchdown pass out of it. So York got to shore it up here, get stopped, Gary.
As McAllister in the shotgun. Gets the snap. He's rolling to his right. Still rolling. Now he's going to tuck and run, and he's going to get the first down and more as he's down the sidelines. Finally knocked out the 31-yard line. But, Gary, Barger come up, knocked him out of bounds, and had he not, he may have went to the house on that one.
Yeah, he had some running room. Townley pinned him by the sideline, Gary, and Barger able to come up and make a tackle. But the York linebackers, they're just not getting there in time, and saw both Lefevue and Cooper both chasing that play from behind, Gary.
So now McAllister will bring his squad up with a 1st and 10 at York's 31-yard line as they march down the field again. We've got 10:29 left to go, just over 10 minutes left to go in the first half. Back up now, and they'll hand it off to Metzger up the middle. Metzger spins away from one, spins away from another. Good move by Metzger. Metzger looked like a human top on that one, Gary, as he spun a couple of times and gets some big yardage on 1st down.
Yeah, he likes that spin move, and Gary, you're right. Somebody's got to hit him solidly one time up in there and, make him think twice about spinning in the middle of the field, and York haven't been able to do that yet.
He's been spinning his way through the York defense pretty handily, and now back up will come the quarterback. McAllister in the shotgun got Metzger beside him to the right side to a 2nd and 1. And York showing blitz, and now they will change the play. McAllister to Metzger. Metzger straight ahead. Metzger going to be submarine there by York player at the 20-yard line. That was Ben Cooper coming up making a hit.
Yeah, nice play by Ben Cooper. Going to move the chains nonetheless to be 1st down Upperman, but a good play by Cooper there just to take the legs out of Metzger.
Well, Gary, you're right at the red zone for the Bees now. They're right on the 20-yard line, and York needs to stop badly here.
Yeah, you got to shorten the field, make the plays. You can take some of their passing game away from them down here in the red zone if you'll do it, and let you concentrate on the run a little more.
And the snap, they're going to have McAllister going to air one out for the corner. He's got a man out there for a touchdown, Bees. And Gary, that one was too easy. Yeah. Bush was wide open out there.
Yeah, and York had it like his own coverage. Miller playing deep, but Miller didn't get there, and that ball lofted in there, and Bush able to walk right under it for the touchdown.
And so the Bees now 20-7 on York. And it will be Krolik back to kick. Holding will be Thomas Enzer. Enzer will hold the extra point attempt. And the snap is down. The kick is up. The kick is good with 9:15 left to go here in the first half. It's 21-7.
With
Upperman.
Twin Lakes Future-Proof Fiber Network, experience the gig difference. With up to 1,000 megabits per second, everything's different. Connect as many devices as you'd like and stream videos without buffering. Music and photos fly. Gaming gets real and nobody's left hanging. That's the gig difference with Twin Lakes. Call or visit us online at twinlakes.net to get your gig today. Some restrictions apply. Speed's not available in all areas.
Well, the Dragons, Gary, going back, and now the Dragons have not been in this situation for sure where a team, when they make a punch, counter punches.
Yeah, Upperman up 2 scores here, and they're kicking off. York got to match them here. That's the only thing you can do at this point. York's been a good team at getting in at halftime and, making adjustments on defense, but you need some of those adjustments to happen right now, Gary. You got to got to be able to stop them on offense one time so you can get the ball and move it a little, make up a little bit of this ground where you didn't score a couple of times.
Miller and Drake back to receive the kick from Krolik. And Krolik going to put this one, going to be a short one. He's going to kick that one to the up man, and it's dropped by the up man, and York may have lost it, Gary. I don't know if they come up with it.
I believe that was Lander Clefview, the up man, trying to catch that ball, and I want to say that he did get.
Yeah, they're going to move the chains going York's direction, but Gary, York really, this first half not coming to play.
No, the ball's been on the ground a lot, Gary, and you can't do that against a good football team. So you got to protect the football here, as you got it in great field position on the 34-yard line. You got to put a drive together here and move it down.
Yeah, York's coughing up the ball like a Persian cat coughing up hairballs at this point. Up will come the Dragons. Got Miller in motion. They hand it off up the middle of Heading. Heading's just going to go straight ahead, and Josiah going to get a couple.
Josiah for about 3 yards, and just gave it to him on that quick hitter to the fullback, and he ran it up in there, and they were ready for him. They met him with about 4 guys.
You're not going to run over big number 79, Tavares Collins, Gary, 6'4", 285 pounds. I think he's a little bigger than that.
Yeah, and there's number 74 out, Alexis Estrada also, who goes 305. They're big up in the tackle positions.
And they know York likes to run it right in the middle, so they're getting the big guys right on the line, and it's hard to run over somebody that big. Now York's got a man in motion. They'll go out. They're going to toss this one out to Cooper. Cooper, a good catch, but it went for absolutely no yards. Actually lost a yard, Gary. That was good play by Upperman on that one.
Yeah, loss of 2. There's a flag down on the play, though, Gary, so we'll see what the flag is.
And we'll see York needing any break they can get at this point.
They're looking towards York, though, so I'm afraid this one may go against the Dragons.
We'll see what they call here. It's going to make it 3rd down and long, I believe, or 2nd down and long.
Yeah, they call him personal foul. Must have been a block or something there.
And now York, Gary, backing up, really going to be second. Well, it depends. It will be second or third down.
The down looks like it may count here. If it does, it's 3rd and 22. It'll be 3rd and 22 for York.
It's after the play because they marked it 3rd now, and York got a mile to go. They got to get back to about all good to get the first down now.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be 3rd and 24.
22-24, give to what the
3rd and 24 from the 20. You got to get to the 44 to get a first down here.
How many 3rd and 24s plays they ride up? But anyway, it'll be left you under center. 8 minutes left to go in this one, and they're going to hand off Cole Cooper left side, and Cole's not going to get anywhere near 24 yards. He gets up to about the 25, and York's going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, he got about 4 on that, Gary. So, 4th and 20, and York's going to have to punt here, down 21-7. Got to get a good punt, get a little field position, and then defense got to show up here once.
Yeah, their defense has not been the par tonight. York, through their first few games, did not even give up a defensive touchdown. Last few weeks, they've given up several, and now they're giving up a lot here tonight, already giving up 3. And the punt by Heading is going to be a good one. It'll shank toward the sideline. They'll go out about the 50, but it depends on where they mark it at.
Going to mark it about the 47-yard line. Well, no, they're moving up. It must have went out well before.
They're going to call 45, so.
Yeah, it's on the York 45-yard line, so about a 21-yard punt. That's all he got out of that.
Gary, total yards in that first quarter, York had 92, while Upperman had 140. But more importantly, Upperman scored every time they had the ball.
They did, Gary, and, they moved the ball pretty easily. York gave them a short field on the first drive, and then they took it, a big long play on the second drive. And
they got the short field again.
Yeah, they got 72 of those 140 yards on the touchdown there. So, over half their yards came on that one play.
McAllister got a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to him. He'll cut back inside. Number 11, Brewington, still on his feet, looking for some room. He gets up to the 30 to about the 29, where it's going to be a first down for the Bees.
Yeah, great. That speed right there, speed personified, and he saw that they were going to string it out, so he cut it back, Gary, up the middle of the field, had some running room.
And now it's going to be the Bees with a 1st and 10 at the 28 of York. And, Gary, they march down here and put in. It's going to be tough for York regardless of what they do in the second half, not to mention the Bees get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they do, and we've said over and over, but York needs to stop here. They need to play, make a couple plays and get a turnover. That would be good.
So now up will come McAllister in the shotgun. Got Metzger to his right. Got a man in motion. Fakes the handoff. Gives it out to Metzger. Metzger's hit immediately by the jackhammer all the way back to the 35-yard line. And that didn't fool anybody. Gary Josiah come through untouched and just leveled Metzger.
Yeah, he did. And, York needs a couple of plays like that where they shoot the gap. Josiah shot that run gap and was able to make the ball carrier as soon as he got the ball and drove him backwards for a 6-yard loss.
And, Gary, what York really needs is to come up with some big plays. Like they're going to have to start taking some chances.
Yeah, they are. And, that was probably a chance they took right there.
And up will come the Bees. They'll take the snap, hand it off to Metzger again. He'll spin this time, and he gets away. He's still on his feet. Now gets back to the original line of scrimmage. And, Gary, that's a situation where York just didn't wrap up.
No, they didn't. They had him for a yard or 2 loss. Instead, he gets about 5 on the play, Gary. So it's going to be still 3rd and 11, but could have been much worse.
Aaron Talon actually had him hit, but he spun away from him. And, Gary, when you got him held up like that, you got to make sure you get to the mat.
Yeah, you got to bring him on down, and they didn't that time. He spun away and ended up 5 yards.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and long. York really needs to stop here. The number 1 over here, Gary, he's got a 10-yard cushion from the first defensive man to him.
Yeah, that's Jake Pentland. He's got plenty of room over there.
And they're looking that direction. They're going to throw it, and Pentland's out there wide open, and he's going to catch it at about the at 21-yard line. He's going to be, I believe, just a little short of the first down, but it's going to make it 3rd and very, very short.
Actually, he's going to be about a yard short, Gary, and it's going to be 4th and 1 here. So Upperman faced with their first decision of the night.
And I don't see any kicker coming out, so I'm assuming they're going to go for it here. And
he got a good spot. He got it on 20. It's pretty close. It's less than a yard for the first down here.
And last time they were in this situation, McAllister come up under center and just went straight ahead. And we look for him to drive that again. York's got to get down low on this one. Keep him from getting that quick half yard. And there's a snap. McAllister over the left side. He's going to get it easy.
Yeah, he saw he just waited for the hole to open up and kind of run through it, Gary, and got a couple of yards out of it.
Needed 1, got 2. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Bees. 4:19 left to go here in the first half. And Upperman just marching down the field again. And York has really got no answer for this offense from Upperman.
They've converted everything so far, Gary. So, you want to York, they need a turnover, Gary. A turnover do wonders right here.
Exactly.
be able to, take possession of this.
They need to at least stop them, not allow a touchdown here, because they go down 3 scores at the halftime, and Upperman getting the ball back. It's going to be really tough. Metzger over the left side. Metzger squirts through. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. Touchdown, Bees. Upperman goes up 27-7. And we got a flag, and that's usually in the area of holding right there. We'll see what they call. They threw it out here about the 15. That's usually in the area of holding, but we'll wait and see what the call is. And the official now.
They're talking it over.
Oh, they're going to say against York.
Yeah, they're calling it again. I didn't see what he signaled.
He called a chop block.
Yeah, I don't understand that one, but.
Oh, well. A chop block on the defense. That's an odd call. You don't see that very often. As now that puts Upperman on top by 20, looking for 21. And Krolik looking to put the ball through the upright and make this a 3-touchdown game. And the snap, the kick is up. The kick is right down the gullet. And it's now a 28-7 Upperman lead.
Meta Thrift, your independent hometown pharmacy, is built upon a foundation of first. First pharmacy in this county. First with a drive-through window. First with a computer system for accuracy. First with a Script Pro machine. First pharmacy to fill 1 million prescriptions, and first to offer free delivery. Why all the first? Because we've been your prescription for caring since 1943.
Meta Thrift, we're always going to be your independent hometown pharmacy.
Well, the Bees now go up by 21, Gary, and I think this is a situation where York's not seen a team quite this physical.
No, they haven't, and they're winning the line of scrimmage right now, Gary, and they're winning it in a big way, and York defensively doesn't have an answer for it. I believe on the penalty there, what he called, he signaled chop block, and I think that as a defender, you can't engage an offensive player high and low, and I think that's what York had done. They had 2 guys on 1 Upperman guy.
And they're going to mark the penalty off on the kickoff, and Gary, I'm up. I might go for an onside kick.
Well, everything else working right now, but
I mean, the worst you're going to get is give it up to them at the 35, and you're most likely going to kick it in the end zone if you go deep.
Yeah, York back to actually both guys on the goal line for York, and we'll see what happens here. They're lining up to kick it off.
Krolik going to kick it away. 28-7, 3:45 left to go here in the first half, and Upperman all over York in this one. And the kick's going to be a driver, and that one they're going to let go into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. York will have it to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, York will take over. Kind of a break there. They didn't try a specialty kick out or anything, and leading 28-7. Their defense has been pretty good, Gary, except for the one drive, and really, you don't know if you can blame them for that or not. York got to prove here, 3:45 to go. You got to get down the field and get in the end zone here before halftime.
And the one thing you can't do, Gary, is go 3 and out, let them have it back before halftime, let them maybe score again, and then get the ball to start the second half.
No, you can. You don't want to do that. So York got to get down the field here, get some big chunks.
And we'll see what York can do here as Lefevue comes up. 3:45 left to go here in the first half, and Lefevue will drop back. Lefevue's get a big rush. He'll throw one out. He's got a man wide open out there. Miller with the reception. He's at the 40, down to the 30, trying to break free. Still, he does break free. He's headed to the end zone for a touchdown, Dragons.
What a play, Gary. Lefevue they had a guy break free. He's able to sidestep him through it as far as he could. Miller wide open out there, and then he drug a defender for about 15 yards before he got away from him, but got away from him for the York touchdown.
And that was an 80-yarder, Gary. That's you said they need to score quick. That was real quick.
That was quicker than anticipated, but a great play by York, and, that's a momentum-changing play there, Gary. You got to see what you can do with that.
And now we'll see if Johan can put it through for the extra point. It's down, it's up, it is good. We've got 3:29 left to go in the half. It's 28-14. Upperman.
Campfires and s'mores. Man, we need to go camping. Hey y'all, Cherie sells with Casey's Wholesale Campers in Livingston. Enjoy this beautiful time of the year and make priceless memories with your loved ones in your next home on wheels. I have luxury travel trailers to perfectly accommodate a couple on up to larger campers that can sleep multiple families. Come see the huge selection on the 111 bypass in Livingston or shop in your pajamas at kcchevy.com. Click the Casey's Campers tab to see camper photos, prices, and apply for financing on our secure website. Be a happy camper with Casey's Wholesale Campers in Livingston.
Well, Gary, the Upperman Bees defense, I don't think expected York to throw the football tonight, and that was just an outstanding throw by Lefevue, who was being rushed pretty good.
Yeah, he was. Number 33, Zach Stewart for Upperman broke free there, and Lefevue had to sidestep him, and right back he threw that about as far as he could throw it, Gary, and right on the money to Miller. Miller had broken open by 10 yards, had to kind of wait on it, but it was there, and then Miller done the rest. A great run by him.
And Miller needed one of those tearaway jerseys on that one.
Yeah, he did. He had his jersey and held on to it for a long time before Miller finally spun around, kept spinning around and getting away from him.
And the kick's going to be on the ground. It's going to be taken by the Upman at the 25. He'll get up and get some good running room up to about the 39. And that was a good return there by Nick Stacy. Stacy on the return gives Upperman good field position. Upperman's had good field position all night, Gary.
Yeah, they have. Kicking short hadn't worked out for York here, and some good returns by the linebackers for Upperman, the Upmen, and they're starting about the 40-yard line here again.
And Gary, York cannot give up a touchdown here, knowing that Upperman's going to get the ball back in that second half.
Yeah, they are. It looks like York's taking a timeout, Gary.
Timeout on the field. It's 3:23 left to go in the half. It's 28-14. Upperman.
He's on the 30. He's on the 20. He's on the 10. It's a touchdown.
There's nothing like football. The lights, the cheers of the crowd, and getting a chance to see our local athletes and kids give it all they've got. Come to a game. Support our local schools. Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union. A better way to bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at ucfcu.org.
Well, York took a timeout, Gary, and now Upperman's going to have the football. And what York really needs here, you mentioned it earlier, would be a turnover and maybe get the ball back. If they get the ball back and cut this to a one-score game before half, at least then Upperman wouldn't have a chance to push out in the start of the third.
No, they wouldn't. And, you know, a turnover, we've said it. They need it. They need a break here, and a break would be get a turnover and get the ball.
McAllister in the shotgun. Takes a snap. He's going to hang on to himself. Spins away from one. Now cuts back inside. He's going to be hit and dropped right about the line of scrimmage as McAllister that time hemmed in. Gary, good job by Headings to hem him in, make him cut back inside.
Yeah, Thomas Cooper there as well on the play, Gary. You know, good job to hem him in, and no gain on the play.
So it's going to be second and long now for the Bees. But, Gary, the Bees just don't want to give the ball back to York with 3 minutes left to go in the quarter.
No, York shown they can score a little bit here too. So, you know, they're trying to keep away as well.
McAllister gives it off to Metzger. This time Metzger's up the middle. Metzger's got some running room. He's into Dragon territory. As Lefevue tries to strip the ball out, they're going to hold him up. But it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bees at the 42 of York. And, Gary, York just has not had an answer for this running attack of Upperman's.
No, they don't. And, you know, big run by Metzger there. Broke it up through the middle of the line. And he ran 15 yards before Jacoby Allen was able to get a hand on him, slow him up. And then, you know, the host of Dragons came in to try to strip the ball. And Upperman driving again.
Upperman with the football, got 1st and 10 at York 43-yard line. And it will be the quarterback, McAllister. He's looking downfield. He's going to throw deep against Barger. Barger out there. Good play by Barger. Did he catch it? He caught it. Oh, my gosh, what a catch. As that one brought down by number 11, Gary, that was Sidney Brewington. And what a catch. Looked like Barger had his hand on it.
Yeah, Barger was there and got a hand in on the play. I don't know if he touched it or not, but diving catch by Brewington, another touchdown for Upperman.
So, Gary, and the thing about that is the officials couldn't really see what was happening with the way it landed.
No, he had to make a call, and he was behind the play, so he wouldn't have known if it was on the ground or not. So not too much of a conversation from the York sideline, though, who had a better view of it.
And now it's 34-14 as back to do the kicking is Krolik. Krolik drills it right through the middle. It's 2:05 left to go in the third, and it is 35-14 Upperman.
This is a critical time for our nation. It's hard to know what to believe in. One thing we know is true. The National Rifle Association has endorsed John Mark Wendell for his vigorous defense of the Second Amendment freedoms. John Mark Wendell is solid pro-gun and pro-hunting and has earned NRA's endorsement and an A+ rating.
Paid for by John Mark Wendell.
And back here where York now, Gary trails by 3 touchdowns again. Upperman showing they can score just as quick.
Yeah, on the long ball there, and McAllister drops back. Not much of a rush out of York, and just lets it fly downfield to Brewington, who slides under it for the touchdown.
And you couldn't play that any better than Barger did. Barger was stride for stride with him. Actually looked like he had his hand out there to knock it away.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get to the ball, Gary, but he didn't, and it falls in for the touchdown for Brewington. And York, once again here, 2:05 left to go in the first half. They need to put together a drive and get on the board before halftime.
And we have to mention again that Upperman gets the ball to start the second half. York will kick it off in the second half as the Bees won the toss and kicked off to start the game. Krolik will kick it away. Long driving kick all the way back to the 6. Here comes Miller. Miller up to the 15, to the 20, and that's about as far as he's going to get, maybe the 22-yard line, before he is unceremoniously driven back.
Yeah, he ran it up in there, ran it hard, but the wedge was there for Upperman, just nowhere to run, Gary. So York, a long way to go again here with about 1:56 to go.
And one thing York can't afford to do, Gary, is have that turnover we talked about earlier.
No turnovers here. You got to move it down the field. They may be ready for the long pass this time, but you got to do something to get down the field.
York will come up. It's Lathan Drake out to the left side, and looks like Miller out to the right side. And you got Cole Cooper in motion. It's going to be left view on the keeper. Left view's going to bounce outside. Cuts back inside. He's going to pick up yardage to the 30. It's going to be short of the first down by about 3 or 4 yards. And Gary, if you're York, are you going to try to save any time here? Maybe try something? Or
yeah, I think they're going to try to see if they can break a big play here. They're 2nd and 3 from the 30. Not in a big hurry though, but left view going to move them up to the line.
And up will come Lefeview with 1:25 left to go. They took the time coming up to the line of scrimmage. Got a man in motion. Now Lefeview going to quick out to Drake, and that one's going to be incomplete. He short-hopped that one, Gary.
Yeah, he struggles with that short throw a little bit, Gary. Throws that in the ground. We've seen that 2 or 3 times this year, and did that one. Drake just couldn't come up with it. If he did, he's on the ground, wouldn't go and get any yardage out of it.
If Lefeview had if he could have pumped it out this way, he had number 11 Brewington jumping on it. He could have maybe got Lathan Drake down the sideline. But now it's going to set up a 3rd down and about 4. And most of all, you don't want to give the ball back to Upperman before halftime. Got a man in motion. They'll take it now. Leftview's dropping back. He's got a big rush. He's going to have to try to get away from it. Still on his feet. Can't get to the first down marker, though, and he's going to be brought down at the 30-yard line, Gary. And you got 4th down for the Dragons. And they're going to have to punt with 1:01 left to go in the quarter.
Yeah, Upperman taking timeout here, too, to stop the clock.
So timeout on the field with 1:01 to go in the half. It's 35-14. Upperman.
Ventures Farmers Co-op, happy to be a proud sponsor of York Dragon football. We wish you a winning season. Every game is a success when you have played your best. Ventures Farmers Co-op, bringing you quality products from feed, seed, and fertilizer, to automotive, to animal health and pet products, to gas, diesel, and propane, to clothing and boots for the family and a gift shop. All this and much more at Ventures Farmers Co-op, 1219 Old Highway 127 South, Jamestown. Go Dragons!
I still dream about.
Well, now, Gary, the Bees take the timeout as York's going to have to punt it away, and it would be a nightmare if Upperman can score again before halftime, knowing they're going to get it in the second half.
Yeah, which, you got to try to stop them here. 1:01 to go. Josiah got to get off a good punt. The last punt was a good one, but it was off the side and went out of bounds only for about 21 yards. Get the full effect of that and maybe a little bit of a roll here and get them down to about the 20-yard line.
And the punt's going to be away, and dropping back is Brewington. That one's going to hit and take a big hop, then drop, and Brewington's going to let it go, and it'll roll all the way down to the 20-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Bees with 51 seconds left to go, and that's plenty of time for McAllister.
Yeah, it is. They've scored quickly tonight, so York will be in this soft defense here and trying to, keep them out of the end zone. Give up a couple plays, maybe in a couple of runs here, but not let them get in the end zone for the half.
1st and 10 for the Bees. They're sitting right at their 20-yard line. We got 51 ticks left to go here in the first half, and it's a first half that's been all Upperman as they lead it 35-14. McAllister will come up in the shotgun. He's got two split out wide to the right, one to the left. And snap, he will hand it off to Metzger. Metzger goes straight ahead, gets about 6 on the carry, so it's going to be 2nd and short.
Yeah, and drug Josiah Headings for a couple of yards there, get a couple more out of that, so it's going to be about 2nd and 4 here.
They're going to back him up to the 25, so it's going to be 2nd and 5 now for the Bees.
Looks like they're content to run it out here, Gary. York got to make one more stop here.
Oh, either they're lulling York into a false sense that they're going to stop now, because they've got some very speedy receivers out here. McAllister gets the snap. He drops back. He's going to be rushed out of the pocket. He'll take off. He'll head to sideline, get the first down, and go out of bounds with about 8 seconds, so they'll have time for one more play. And Gary, even though York might get out of this half without giving up another, they've had the ball moved on them even in this drive.
Yeah, they have, and playing a little softer though here, Gary. You're working to keep them out of the end zone and playing a little soft, and so they get a few yards. You give them up a few here, but you want to keep them out of the end zone.
Well, the York Dragons trying to get out of this half, what has been a nightmare first half for them, as they have been unable to stop the Upperman Bees. McAllister under center this time. Takes it, and he'll just lean forward and run the clock out. That's going to do it. We're at halftime of this one, and halftime it is all Upperman. They lead it 35-14 back in 2 minutes.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium 2-topping Pizza Hut pizzas
For just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carry out.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium 2-topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges, and minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
Jamestown Regional has always been committed to providing the highest quality of patient care. We work hard every day to contribute to the health of our patients and to the well-being of our community by providing many jobs and services. Now we are proud to be serving our community once again as Jamestown Regional Medical Center. JRMC, a Renova Health company, will continue the tradition of providing quality care, comprehensive services, and an experienced team of physicians and caregivers.
Like a great sports team needs a great captain to lead them, a county needs a great executive to move it forward, and Fentress County has it in Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy believes in this county and its endless possibilities. So for great sports and a great county, be like County Executive Jimmy Johnson and back Fentress County all the way.
Whether you're competing on the athletic field or working hard in the classroom, remember you have the support of First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. We're behind you 100% of the way. Good luck to all the area teams. Play tough and play fair. And remember, when it comes to helping you with your banking needs, we're First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And now over and over, it's First Volunteer for you.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. When you schedule your fall maintenance with Condition Heating and Cooling, they will clean, calibrate, test, and ensure your heating system is in proper working order. Let them find and correct issues before they become major problems. Or you can take advantage of discounts up to $1,000 on new energy-saving American Standard heating and air conditioning units. See dealer for details. Offer won't last long, so call to schedule your appointment today.
Call 879-5909. Conditioned heating and cooling.
Halftime of this one, and at the half, it is Upperman on top, 35-14. Time now for the old Ben Franklin Ford halftime stats. Don't forget, folks, Fords are cheaper out in the country. We'll be back with our halftime stats right after this.
Hi, folks. Bruce Babb, Old Ben Franklin Ford in Watburg, Tennessee, and the Ford Summer Sales Event is still going strong with 0% on all new inventory. In addition to this, we are running a special purchase on the all-new Ford SUV EcoSport. 0 down, $287 a month. Not a lease, a purchase. We have 10 of these units on the ground and ready to go. We also have a great selection of pre-owned vehicles with prices starting at $1995. If we don't have what you want, we can get it. Remember, folks, Fords are cheaper out in the country. Come by and see us or visit us online at oldbenfranklinford.com.
And back here with our halftime stats brought to you by Old Ben Franklin Ford. And Gary, it's been pretty much all Upperman here in this first half.
Yeah, it is. You know, scoreboard most prominently they're ahead 35-14. But, you know, they have 14 first downs in the first half to 7 for York. They've outgained York 310 to 184 and have outrushed York 141 to 106. Passing yards 78 for York, 169 for Upperman. You know, everything else, York and not winning the time of possession battle either. Now it's 12:54 for Upperman, 11:06 for York. And individually for York, you have Cole Cooper with 34 yards and a touchdown the first half. Lefeview with 24 yards. Heading 17 yards. Ben Cooper 1 carry for 14. Leftview's 2 of 3 passing for 78 yards for the touchdown, the 80-yarder to Miller. Also complete a pass to Cole Cooper for a loss of 2 yards. For Upperman, Blake Metzger, 12 carries, 67 yards in the first half. Donovan McAllister, 9 carries, 58 yards, and Brewington, 1 carry for 16. McAllister, 5 of 7 through the air, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, Gary, and 2 of those to Cole Bush, who has 3 receptions for 117. The other one to Sidney Brewington, the 42-yard great catch down here in the end zone, and Jake Penland's got 1 catch for 10 yards. Defensively, York led by Ben Cooper and Landry Cleftview with 6 tackles each. Lathan Drake with 5 and Dalton Barger with 4. And, you know, scoring, it started Upperman. Blake Metzger, a 5-yard run, 7-0 Upperman. On the next drive, it was Cole Bush, a 72-yard pass from McAllister, 14-0. York gets on the board. It's Cole Cooper from 25 yards out, makes it 14-7. Then Upperman again, Cole Bush, a 20-yard pass, makes it 21-7. Then Blake Metzger, a 19-yard run, makes it 28-7. Before York hits on the bomb, Landry Cleftview to Thomas Miller for 80 yards. And then Upperman finishes out the half. It's Sidney Brewington with a 42-yard pass, and it's 35-14 at halftime.
Gary, just look at this right now. York unable to stop the pass, unable to stop the run, not able to stop anything from Upperman. The only thing that stopped Upperman was the lack of time in that last drive.
It is. You know, Upperman's 4 of 5 on 3rd down and 1 of 1 on 4th down. They went for it when they didn't get the 3rd down, so they're 5 of 5 on, 5 of 6 in 3rd and 4th downs, but they've converted every one of them, Gary. You know, they haven't turned the ball over, hadn't turned it over on downs, hadn't had to punt tonight, and York got to make the defensive adjustments and start with get them off the field quickly here in the second half, and then put a drive together and get back in this game. You can do that, and then got to play some more great defense. Got to shore up those holes to begin with. They've thrown the ball 7 times. They've run the ball 22 times, and they're running. They're primarily a running team, and right now you got to plug those holes. You got to take that run away from them, make them be a passing team. It means you're going to have to play man coverage, and we've seen York give up some big cushions. You're going to have to play that. You're going to have to play that man coverage though, and you're going to have to take a chance or two here.
And Gary, the main thing York needs is some confidence that they can stop.
They do, Gary. Get a stop, and then that leads to another one. You kindly hope that maybe the big bomb that they hit, the 80-yarder to Miller, that might spill over to the defense and get a stop there. But Upperman took it right back down the field, and York got to get a stop on defense, Gary.
Well, we're at halftime of this one, and at the half, it is Upperman on top, 35-14. We're going to take a timeout, and then we'll be back for the start of the second half in just a moment. Don't forget, folks, our halftime stats brought to you by Old Ben Franklin Ford. Fords are just cheaper out in the country, so head on over to Wartburg and check them out. I'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes. And back here at Upperman High School, we're getting started set for the second half. Gary, we talked about it a little bit during the halftime amongst ourselves. York's got to find some way to stop this potent attack by Upperman.
Yeah, they do, Gary, and start the second half. Upperman's going to get the ball here, and York got to make a stop and be the first time they get off the field tonight. And, you got to get off the field if you're going to get back in this game, and got to do that defensively, and you're going to have to plug up the running lanes and make them throw that ball to beat you, which they can do, but, they're running the ball effectively right now, and York's got to take that away.
The only thing that stopped Upperman that first half, Gary, was the time ran out on them on that at halftime.
Yeah, it did. They moved the ball at will, Gary, and on pace for over 600 yards total offense, and you just don't see York do that much.
And the kickoff's going to be shanked out of bounds, and Gary, that's going to give it to them at the 35-yard line. And honestly, that's probably the best or worst field position Upperman's had all night. Best York's had all night on their first down.
It's close. If it's not, they may have been one possession started behind that, but not many. Most of them have started out near the 40-yard line.
Gary, do you maybe try to stack the box here and play a little man-to-man with your outside guys and try to stop that run?
I think you got to try to do something. You got to try to fill the running lanes here with your linebackers.
And here we go. McAllister back in the shotgun. He's got it at 1st and 10 on his own 35. Rolls to his left. Now he's going to tuck it, and he's going to try to run. And he's going to be brought down by Josiah Headings, and a flag in there on top of it, Gary. That's going to be a holding on somebody.
Yeah, that's going to be a holding against Upperman, and be interesting to see if York will take that here, by the loss of a yard on the sack. So looks like they will take the penalty.
And, of course, that's from the spot of the foul, too, so it's going to be.
No, they're going to decline. It's going to be 2nd and 10, Gary.
So 2nd and about
11. 2nd and 11.
Well, they're going to say second and barely, about a half a yard. So counts as a sack, but still it's only a half a yard loss, Gary.
Good play by Josiah Headings to hold him down, though. So, to hold him behind the line of scrimmage, make him scrimmage from behind the line, the original line for one.
2nd and long now for the Bees. They've got 2nd and 11. McAllister going to roll to his right. He's going to throw this one out. Got a man out there, and he's going to haul it in at the 45-yard line, just short of the 45. And Gary, where they're marking him at, if they mark him where this official's got it, he's going to be just short, but now they're going to mark it right on the 45, so he's got the first down.
Yeah, it'll be first down for Upperman. This lofting that ball out there, York giving such a cushion, and Brewington able to make the catch for about 11 yards in the first down.
And Gary, that time York actually got some pressure on McAllister. That was just a darn good throw.
They're actually blitzing the gaps, Gary, and trying to, they're getting pressure on the quarterback. They're also trying to take the run away.
And it's going to be McAllister in the shotgun, got a man in motion, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, bounces outside, gets around one man. He's up over midfield. He's all the way down to the York 44-yard line. And Lander Gillespie talking to the official. He didn't like something there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was, but it's another first down for Upperman. And, you know, McAllister's, he had the option to hand that off, didn't do it, and, you know, turned it up the field. And he's had running lanes all night long, Gary.
So 1st and 10 now for the Upperman Bees. They're at the Dragons 43.5. Back in the shotgun is McAllister. York going to jump, but didn't go all the way off sides. And they'll reset. That was a good hard count by McAllister, but couldn't get anybody to jump enough. This time they're handing out to Metzger. Metzger's hit at the line and driven back. Good job by the Dragons defensively that time.
Good job. They're sending a couple extra guys up in there, Gary, and not going to let them run between the tackles here, and a gain of about 2 on that one.
So it's going to make it 2nd and long for the Bees. Bees have scored on every possession, Gary, except that end of the first half, and that was just because they didn't have enough time, I think.
Yeah, you know, and York doing a good job of boxing it up between the tackles here. And Upperman been able to complete a couple of passes in a run. So
McAllister hands it off to Metzger right up the middle. He's going to bang his way all the way up to about a yard short of the first down.
A good run, yeah. Went right up the middle. They made a hole, and he was able to run right through it, Gary, and got tripped up over his own man after about an 8-yard gain.
So that's going to make it 3rd and 1 for the Bees at York's 35-yard line.
Now, we've seen this play tonight, and it's been the quarterback sneak every time, Gary, and he might look for that again. He just stands back there and waits for the hole and dives in it.
And we'll see what he decides to do here as he comes up under center. And he's going to do just what Gary said. He's going to push forward, and he's going to have enough for the first down as he gets to the 32.5-yard line. That'll be 1st and 10 for the Bees.
Yeah, gain of about 2.5 on that one, Gary. And, you know, he just waited. He didn't wait for the hole that time. He just rode his center's back right up the middle for about 2.5 yards.
So 9:20 left to go here in the third quarter, and the Bees marching down the field again. First possession of the second half. And they're moving it, Gary, and taking a lot of time off the clock, moving it as well.
Yeah, you know, they're in 3 minutes here into this drive, Gary, but more importantly, ball control, and they're moving the ball.
And now it'll be a snap. They're going to fake the pitch. It'll be McAllister on the keeper. He bounces outside, and he's knocked down at the 23-yard line. And Gary, he just picked up big yards in what looked like a broken play.
He knows how to read the line of scrimmage, Gary. He's very effective at that, and you know, once again had that run option, and you know, pulled it in from the back and just swung it out there and had some clear sailing for about 10 yards before York got a hand on him.
2nd and 2 now for the Bees. And York desperately needing to stop as Upperman marching right down the field to start this second half. And they're going to hand it off to Metzger, who goes straight ahead, and Metzger's going to get, I believe, enough for the first down, Gary.
Yeah, he's got another first down. He got down to about the 22-yard line, and moving the chains once again. That's a good play by Jacoby Allen to come up and finish that off, but not before he got the first down.
And with 8 minutes left to go here in the third quarter, it's now 35-14. The Bees on the move again. They're at the 26 of York. Actually, about the 27 of York.
That's about the 23, Gary.
23. No, it's 26. See, 20, 25, 26. And, actually, you're right. I was looking at the wrong thing here. They're going to hand it out this time. And McAllister on the keeper, Gary, and he's going to get inside the 20 to about the 18.
Yeah, gain of about 5 there. That play, you know, that's a high snap, and couldn't get down to get to the back, so he pulled it down, ran with it, and got about 5 yards out of it. And 2nd and short, 2nd and 5 for Upperman here.
And Gary, that's something. If you've got 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, you've got a lot more play calls than you do at a 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, you do. You know, and it hadn't really mattered for them tonight so far. I mean, it don't matter what the down distance is, they've been able to pick it up.
And now the snap back, they're going to hand it off to Metzger. Metzger's going to be tackled right at the 15-yard line as he was wrapped up there. Good job by the Dragons. Ben Cooper, I believe, on that stop, wasn't he, Gary, number 38?
Yeah, it's Ben Cooper on the stop. Good job. Held him about 2 yards. And York here, 3rd and 3. You know, third down again. See if they can dial something up and get the stop here.
And Gary, you know, the big thing about this is Upperman scores here. They're one score away from the mercy rule.
Yeah, they are, and the clock's running, but, you know, third down here, and York just has not been able to stop them on third down tonight.
And up will come McAllister in the shotgun. Got Metzger beside him, hands it off to Metzger, and he's hit and bounces away. York didn't wrap up. He's going to fall down, and York gets a big break, and he may have lost the football, Gary.
They're calling him down, and he lost about 2 yards on that one, Gary, so it's going to be 4th down 5.
And I'm not sure if they trust Krolik from this distance, Gary. That would be about, what, a
33-yarder.
Yeah,
so they may try this here. You know, they're kind of in control of this thing, but looks like they're bringing in another receiver and may be going for it here, Kerry.
33. And it would be a 33-yarder from here.
Yeah, it'd be 33 yards, and but they're lining up to go for it, looks like.
Yeah, McAllister's going to go under center in this one, Gary. Might be the ball game. It's hard to say that early. It's early in the third quarter, but this could be it.
It could be, Gary.
McAllister rolling to his right. He's got a man wide open at the 10, and he is going to be hit and brought down, and he is going to get the first down, though, Gary. And he was wide open over there.
Yeah, they've been able to run a guy off to the sideline or on the flat all night long wide open, Gary, and York has not had an answer for it.
York just nowhere around that one, as it's going to be first and goal from the 9-yard line.
Yeah, Penland on the catch there, wide open out in the flat, Gary. They just ran the receivers down the field and worked one in behind, and York not getting the receiver in behind, you know, the original route runners, and they're breaking free.
Just pretty much pitch and catch at that point, Gary, as now it's going to be Upperman with a first and goal from the 9. McAllister, high snap. He'll run it himself, take it right side, goes inside to the 2-yard line where it's going to be second and goal for the Bees. And, Gary, they're knocking on the door again, and York, I'm not sure what to say about this tonight.
This is going on an 8-minute drive here, too, Gary. Over 7 minutes right now, and be over 7.5 before they snap the ball right here. And, you know, they're on about the 3-yard line, and Penland, or that snap high, McAllister able to corral it in, took off a running with it right away, and down to about the 3-yard line.
And Upperman brings in Zach Stewart at the fullback position. And they'll it's going to be fumbled, and York gets the quarterback down there, Gary, as he loses back about 3 yards.
Yeah, McAllister fumbled the snap. Cole Cooper there, but couldn't get on it before McAllister fell on it. So a little bit of a break for York here. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 7.
We'll see what Upperman can do here. They've got, of course, 2 downs to get it in. And we don't know if they might go for a field goal if they get any closer, but it would be. And we've seen, now we do know that their kicker has the leg for it. Krolik can hit that distance.
Yeah, he can kick that field goal. That's not a problem. You know, more importantly, this is an 8.5-minute drive now, Gary. You know, they have worked the third quarter here on this one drive.
And they'll hand it off. No, it's back goes McAllister. McAllister hit and actually dropped back in a sack by Cole Cooper as Josiah got in there first and made the hit. But then Cooper knocked him down, Gary, after he broke away from Josiah.
Yeah, you know, Josiah busted through the line, had him wrapped up. He spun away from him, and then, you know, Cole Cooper there to finish it, though.
And it looks like we're going to see Krolik come in and go for the
25-yarder, it looks like, Gary.
It's going to be set down right on the 25-yard line, and we'll see what Krolik can do. Krolik, we know, has got the leg. We'll see if he can get it through the uprights as he gets set. And still getting ready. And York almost jumped off sides. Now the kick is up. The kick is no good. He shanked it to the, hooked it a little to the left. And the Dragons finally get a stop, Gary, with 2:38 left to go. It's York getting the football back.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, he did. He just come through that. They had a good rush off the corner, Gary, and he come through it pretty quick, just hooked it left and missed it. Break for York here, but you know that was 8-minute and 22-second drive, Gary, that, come up empty, but they've effectively worked the third quarter off here.
But you got to look at do this way, Gary. They're up by 21, so. Or actually, 21 points, so they're up by 3 scores, and you just took almost a quarter away. That's going to make it even tougher for the Dragons. Lefeview comes up, got a man in motion. He'll hand off to Cooper, and Cooper's hit immediately. Cooper went absolutely nowhere, Gary.
Loss of 2 on that one, and, they ran out of the wing tee, and Cooper come around, got the handoff, and was met immediately, Gary.
They was on Cooper so quick that they probably tasted what he had for lunch. It was that quick. Get into the backfield for the Bees. We're headed down to the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter, and it's a 35-14 Upperman lead. York with a second and a dozen. He'll take it this time. Lefeview fumbles. He has to fall on it, and Lefeview going to lose yardage again, Gary.
Yeah, number 80 come in, Jake Duchess for Upperman, and stripped the ball from Lefeview. Fortunately, it bounced right up to him. He's able to fall on it. It's third and very long for York here.
Third and about all good, I believe, or maybe Monterey.
Saying third and 15, so that's a little bit of a break. It looks like it might be more than that, actually.
So now York got a long way to go to get the first down, and they certainly don't want to make a mistake here. They got split out to the right. Zach Holdren along with Thomas Miller as Lefeview goes back. He's going to throw the screen, and that's going to go incomplete.
That was covered, Gary. Probably a good thing he did throw it away.
And they never did blow the whistle, Gary, and that's going to be pushed even back farther as one of the York players picked it up.
Yeah, they calling that a lateral, I think, and looks like it. Looks like they're marking it.
Yeah, they're going to mark it back. Looks like way inside the 10.
Actually, they're marking it. They're marking it at the about 13-yard line. It looks like, Gary. So, not sure where that spot came from, but it's going to be marked on the 13.
No, it looks like it's going to be marked on the 8, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 8. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they marked it back to where the and now Leftview's going to go for it.
No, Headings.
Headings back to punt. I start to say, surely they're not going for it here. As Heading booms a beaut. That one's going to go back, and Brewington will have to fall on it at the 39-yard line. A good kick by Josiah. But the Dragons, Gary, give it right back to the Bees.
Yeah, they do. 54-yard punt by Headings there. So kicks them out of the hole a little bit, but the ball does go back to Upperman. York not able to get anything going. Fumble and a lateral that gets away on the play, sends York backwards.
And Gary, another 8-minute drive pretty much sealed the deal on this game.
Yeah, it will, and we've talked about the importance of getting off the field. Well, they got away without a score, but they didn't get off the field.
Yeah, they backed up quicker than the French Army after that, as up will come McAllister. He's going to take the snap, roll it to his right. He's looking deep. He's throwing deep. Got a man in Bush out there. Oh, Bush had that one go right through his hands, Gary, and Bush had Miller beat by about a 5 spot.
He did. He took off on him and was running away from him, Gary, and that ball was pretty close to on the money, and looked like Bush kind of short-armed that a little bit because it fell right in front of his hands, and he wasn't stretched out for it.
You couldn't throw that one much better than McAllister did down the field.
No, you couldn't. That was a great throw on the money. That wasn't one of these lobs or arch balls that we've seen out of him tonight either. That was a spiral, a line drive spiral.
So now McAllister will step back in the shotgun. Got a 2nd and 10. Got a man in motion. He'll take the snap, fake the handoff, give it up the middle to Metzger. Metzger's going to get about 2 yards before he's brought down. Good tackle out there by Lefeview.
York has done an effective job of handling the tailback here in the third quarter. The problem is they haven't handled the quarterback on his side to run it, and McAllister's had at least 3 big runs on the previous drive, and once again, they're 3rd and 8.
Do they have to snap it before the...
I can't see the play clock anywhere.
I don't think they have a time clock, so we'll have to watch the official. When that hand goes up, you got 5 seconds to get the play off, and Upperman may not even have to snap it. I'm not sure.
They're not acting like it, so we're going to the fourth quarter, it looks like, Gary.
We're headed to the final frame of this one, and after 3, it's all Upperman, 35-14.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium 2-topping Pizza Hut pizzas
For just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carry out.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium 2-topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges, and minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
And Coach Charles Vaughn, 17 years of coaching. He took his team to the state playoffs and led them in multiple district and bowl championships. His life modeled teamwork, integrity, and hard work. I'm Joey Vaughn, and this man not only was my dad, but he was my coach. I grew up learning these values, and they are a large part of what Meadow Thrift Pharmacy is founded on. Come out and support our York football team.
Well, final frame of this one, Gary, and the Dragons trailing by 21. Got to do something and do something quick.
Yeah, you got to get a stop here and get one pretty quick. It's 3rd and 8, Gary, so a chance to get off the field here.
Got to watch McAllister on the run. No, he's going to air one out. He's got a guy down the sideline way too far ahead for the intended receiver, and that's going to fall short. And, Gary, for the second time, York looks like they're going to get off the field without allowing a score.
Yeah, they are, and that's the worst throw from McAllister tonight. Bush running, had broken through the seam down the field, not even close to hitting him on that one.
And, Gary, this is something York has got to, you think about it right here, York has got to shore something up because you know when they get the video of this one, Sequatchie County is going to be watching this one very, very closely when it comes that time.
Yeah, they will. You know, you can kindly watch and see what's happening tonight. And York has got some things that they've got to work on.
And coming down the field, York's Barger put a shot on somebody. The freshman laid the wood to somebody coming down the field on the block on that one.
I want to say that was Jake Dutchess, number 80, but the ball was bouncing and everybody kind of pulled up, but Barger laid Lord the boom on him, and you'll have Miller to pick up the ball and run 4 or 5 yards.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Dragons. Barger with the hit. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons. They'll hand it off to Headings. Headings over the left side. Headings breaks that, loses the football, and I think York falls on it, Gary. And York's, I don't know, had a classic case of the Butterfingers tonight.
Yeah, they have, and Headings got that ball stripped, Gary, stripped clean, but one of the offensive linemen for York able to fall on it and got about 5 yards.
And number 53 for Upperman is limping a little bit out there. That's Jackson Neal. Now, Gary, if you take
Actually, that's 83. Gary.
83. Okay, that is – actually, there's no 83 on the roster.
We'll check that number.
63. Okay, we'll try lever 3. Jeff Ford, injured player. He'll come off out the field. And now up will come Lefew under center. It's going to be 2nd and about 4 for the first down. They'll hand off Miller. Miller trying to cut back inside, still on his feet. Miller going to be very close to the first down, and where they're showing it, it should be 1st and 10 for the Dragons. But, Gary, this is eating up that clock, and you've only got 11 minutes to try to get back into this one.
Yeah, it's eating up the clock, but Miller, the only guy really out of the swing tee being able to run the ball tonight. You know, he took that handoff, made a guy miss, and able to get about 5 yards out of it in a first down.
So it's going to be now 1st and 10 for the Dragons. And York needing points desperately, trailing by 21. Snap, they'll hand it off this time to Miller. Left side, Miller is hitting, man. That is a great tackle by number 20. Oh, come on now. You got to rag that one, as that one was definitely uncalled for over on the far sideline.
Yeah, that looked like that was well out of bounds, Gary, but no flag on the play. So that's going to be a loss of about 3 for Miller. And anytime they've tried to take that handoff and go wide, Upperman been there to string it out, and they did that again.
Nash did an outstanding job stringing that one out and making the stop. And so now it's going to be 2nd and about 3 for the Dragons, or about 13, I should say, for the Dragons. Wish it was 3. He'll take the snap, hand it off up the middle, and that's going to go for about a yard.
That's Ben Cooper on the carry, and you're right, about a yard on that one. So York going to be in 3rd and long here.
Well, York with a 3rd and long. 10 minutes left to go in this one, and York, if you just tuned in, trails at 35-14. Upperman scored on their first 5 possessions. But since then, Gary, York has been able to stop them the last 3, the end of the first half, and then the 2 in the second half here.
They've gotten a couple of stops, but it's been after the damage been done so far, Gary.
And will come Lefevue under center. Takes the snap, drops. He's looking. He's going to throw it downfield. Airs that one out. Got a man over there, Drake, right at about the 48 of Upperman. So a good throw by Lefevue. Gary Lefevue showing how strong an arm he's got.
He got a really good arm. That was a really good throw. That was an out route about 15 yards down the field, and Drake catches that ball. It's on the money, Gary. Good throw, good catch, and York moving the chains.
York got a 1st and 10 now, but got to get a little more urgency in their step as they trail between them. They're going to hand it off to Cooper, and Cooper's hit. Bounces off one, bounces off another, but driven back to the 50-yard line. And, Gary, that has just not worked to this right side.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't worked to the left side either, Gary. That they're just stringing that out. The first guy's hitting him. They try to bounce it out, and there's 2 or 3 others there, and nowhere to run on those plays.
And McAllister on the stop on that one. A good tackle by McAllister. It's a 2-yard loss. And York has got it 2nd and about 12, 13 yards right at the 50-yard line. And up will come Lefevue and crew. Got a man in motion. They're going to drop back. Lefevue looking, rolling, throwing. Got a man down there and incomplete at the 40-yard line. As he hit the receiver there, Gary, but the defense got to him just about the same time.
Yeah, it was a pretty close play there, and maybe hoping to get a flag out of that. He come over the top of him, but, he was there right when the ball got there. So good defense by Upperman, and going to put York in 3rd and 12 here.
That was Cooper. They couldn't hang on to that one. It's still going to be 3rd and long for the Dragons. 8:30 left to go in this one, Gary, and now your clock's your biggest enemy.
Yeah, it is. Clock stopped on that incomplete pass, but it's been moving for the most part, Gary.
Up come the Dragons. Cooper's in the backfield. And big rush. Lefevue going to just have to chuck that one in the cheap seats. And that one's going to be incomplete. And they want to ground him, but Gary, that he was outside the box and threw it out deep into the field.
Yeah,
well, now they're going to rag him.
That one, I'm not sure what the deal is because he was outside. He was running for his life and running backwards for his life, and that went past the line of scrimmage. So
past the line of scrimmage, I'm not sure. And they're going to call intentional grounding.
Marked that all the way back to the 40-yard line, and we were standing here beside a game review official who has left the building. He should have been around for that one. I'm not sure that should have been intentional grounding.
I don't think so either. And as we said, he was outside the tackle box and made the long throw.
Yeah,
but
the tackle box is a tackle box, but when you're running backwards, you're outside that. And unfortunate call for York.
And now Headings all booted away. Headings going to kick this one. It's going to sail out of bounds. And they're going to probably give him that in about the 27, look like, Gary.
They'll mark that close to the 30-yard line, I believe, Gary. We'll see where they go here. And
yeah, you're right. He keeps walking.
31-yard line looks like. So, those punts out at quarter, kind of offside of the foot and going out of bounds.
Gary, you hate to be gloom and doom with 8:16 to go, but that was one that York just about had to score on. They're just, if Upperman can run a few first downs, there's not going to be enough time for the Dragons to even have a shot at getting back in this one.
Yeah, you need to score well before now, and then, you're playing ball, hoping to get a turnover here, get something that you can go with quickly.
McAllister back in the shotgun, takes the snap. He'll keep it himself, heads on the right side and gets around the first tackler, still on his feet, and you're going to knock him down at the 41-yard line.
They're trying to strip the ball, Gary, and hard to do that from McAllister. And they managed to bottle up the running back Metzger here in the second half. They have not been able to bottle up McAllister on the quarterback.
He has ran it well against the Dragons. 35-14 your score. We got 7:54 left to go. Upperman on top with the football, just marching down the field. And the Dragons look like they're going to lose their first game of the season and fall to 5-1. And the snap, they're going to pitch it out to Metzger. Metzger going to get around Headings, and he's still him. Then Headings come back and drives him down, Gary. Headings come back with some authority on that one.
Yeah, Landry Clefeview tried to wrap him up, and it was Headings and Cole Cooper both come in there at the end to finish that off, but they knocked him forward. He got about 3 yards out of it.
So now it's 2nd and 7 for the Dragons. Don't go away. We'll have the Progressive postgame show coming up after the end of this one tonight, and we'll talk with Coach Derwin Wright hopefully and see his thoughts on this one tonight. 2nd and 7 now for the Bees. McAllister got Metzger to his right. Snap back. He's going to fake the pitch, keep it himself, and this time he's hit and dropped as York played that one pretty well, Gary. I believe that was Lefeview come up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Lefeview came up and made the tackle. Holden Slavin was in the backfield there with him, and he managed to make him miss, and Lefeview there to clean it up. A gain of about 1 on that one, Gary.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Bees, Gary, and this one, York definitely needs to stop here. They've been able to stop them here in the second half. There's something they couldn't do in the first half.
No, no scoring here, halfway through the fourth quarter in the second half, but enough damage done in the first half. York on the short end right now.
And back in the shotgun goes McAllister. Got a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to Brewington. Brewington trying to cut inside. Gets outside. He's going to bounce for at least another first down, for he is held up and knocked down by Lefeview.
Jacoby Allen come up, took the wrong angle, Gary. He had a chance maybe to hold that up to help got there, but took a bad angle, and he turned inside, and it allowed Brewington to take that to the outside up the sideline, and he got about 15 yards and a first down out of it.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for Upperman at the 44-yard line. And more importantly, Gary, we're down to 5:43. Even if they go 3 and kick here, it's going to be probably under 3 minutes before York will get the football back.
Yeah, at this point, if you're York, you need a turnover. We've said it all night. You need a turnover.
And back in the shotgun goes McAllister. McAllister taking his time. Now he sees the official start the 5-second count. Takes the high snap, hands it off to Metzger right up the middle. Metzger breaks one tackle, and he gets up to about the 36-yard line, but we've got a rag on the field, Gary, and that's usually right around holding area.
Yeah, I believe this one's going to be holding. They held to get the hole open that time, Gary, and Metzger had a big hole to run through before Lathan Drake come up and made the tackle, but this one's going back.
And they're going to back it up from about the 43 and a half.
It should be 1st and 20 here, I would think, Gary.
Yeah, right at 1st and 20. So the Bees now will come up. They've got a long way to go. But, Gary, they're more content now just running the clock as we hit to the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, they are. They're working the clock, trying to get out of here and, keep us where it's at. If they get a score, it'll be all right with them. York trying desperately to get the ball back.
Upperman comes up in the shotgun is McAllister. McAllister gets the snap, fakes the handoff, drops, looks, he's going to chuck a long one. And he's got a man out there, and Bush couldn't come up with it.
York had that double covered. It was Drake, and it was Miller back there on the coverage, and they were able to knock it away from Bush where he couldn't catch that one.
Bush with some great speed. We seen that in that first touchdown he had, Gary. He had some great speed. He just outrun a bunch of Dragons.
Yeah, he did, and speed's a lethal weapon sometimes. And, Upperman, these wide receiver positions have plenty of speed. Metzger, not slowest guy in the world either at tailback. And, of course, we've seen McAllister pretty much dominate the second half running out of the quarterback position.
So now it's going to be, let's see, 2nd and 20 for the Bees. McAllister. The snap's high. He gives it off to Metzger, and he is knocked down right there. Good job coming in that time by the Dragons. I believe it's Cole Cooper on the stop.
It was Cole Cooper, a little bit of help from number 54 for York, which that is Aaron Talon on the play, and no gain on that one, Gary.
So Upperman now with a 3rd down, but Gary, by the time they snap this, we're going to be under the 4-minute mark. And for York, this is going to be a big challenge to try to come back next week. I mean, they've got Wartburg. Granted, Wartburg's no Upperman.
No, they're not. A lot easier challenge next week, but, this was a game to figure out where you stack up, and York still got some work to do and, some work to put in to get better as the season goes on.
And now dropping back to McAllister. He's going to be chased as Allen chasing him. He's going to throw it downfield. Got a guy out there who comes down with it. And he's going to be just short of the 1st down, Gary, and that'll be...
they're calling that incomplete, Gary.
Incomplete.
He called it out of bounds, looks like.
So it's going to bring up a 4th down and long, and the Bees will probably punt here again, Gary.
You would think so. 4th and 20, you think, this is an opportunity where you just punt it and play a little defense here. And, they've done an effective job of that in the second half. York going to be desperate to try to move the ball.
And the thing about it is now you just got to play and keep the ball in front of you, make York run some time, and you get out of here with a huge district win. And then you're right now, Upperman is going to be in the driver's seat of the region. We did see that Sequatchie County was beating Smith County earlier as well, so that's a game everybody's keeping an eye on. It'll be Drake getting the ball at the 15-yard line, and Gary Drake come up on the bounce and just dropped with it. Never made a move up the field. He just kind of dropped on it.
Yeah, he did. And, Gary, it looked like he lunged at the ball, and maybe, I'm not sure what he was doing there, but just fell straight down. I don't know if he slipped or something or if it was just deliberate, but either way, York got it on the 16-yard line.
So York with a 1st and 10, trailing by 21. We've got 3:35 left to go here in the ball game. Hey, don't forget, folks, the Crush going to be opening playoffs tomorrow. The Fentress County Crush playing at 11:30 at York Institute. They'll be taking on Macon County in that first round of the playoffs, and we'll be videoing that for showing on CLTV as the handoff this time goes to Cooper, Ben Cooper, and Gary, he didn't get much at all.
No, he didn't. He got nothing, actually, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 here for York.
Well, when you get nothing, that's very much nothing.
They stacked him up quick, This Upperman defense, they're big and they're fast on the edges, and they have kept York contained tonight.
They're averaging only allowing 3 points a game.
Well, York got a little more than that tonight, but not a lot, and needed much more.
And so back will go Lefew. He'll hand it off up the middle, and that one's going nowhere again.
And maybe a couple of yards on that one, Gary, that one there went to Cooper as well. Ben Cooper again on the carries.
Don't go away, folks. Coming up at the end of tonight's game, we'll have our Hall's player of the game coming up a little bit later as well. We'll discuss that one and see who we think will be our Hall's player of the game here in just a few moments. But it's going to be now 3rd down and about 10 for the Dragons. Yeah, Miller in motion, and Lefty will throw it out quickly. It goes off the hands of Drake. And Gary Drake on that slant, had it been out in front of him, he'd had some running room.
Yeah, he had the guy on his outside shoulder. Probably could have beat him across the field there if he catches it, and, could have been running for a while. But instead, 4th down for York, and it looks like they're bringing on the punt team.
So York going to punt it away with a 4th and 10 at their own 16-yard line. They figure discretion the better part of valor in this one. Snap to Headings. Headings going to get the punt off, and he's going to drill another good one. That's going to push number 11 all the way back to the 34-yard line. He bounces outside, and he's going to be brought down at the 41-yard line. Good kickoff return coverage that time by the Dragons' Cole Cooper.
Another 52-yard punt from Headings, and about 10 on the return, Gary. So, Headings has done a good job punting tonight. One of the bright spots, I guess, in this game where there hadn't been a whole lot.
Yeah, not a whole lot of bright spots in this one, to say the least. York's really struggled in this one. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bees at their own 42-yard line, and they've just got to run 2 minutes off the clock, and they are going to pick up a huge region win and move into the driver's seat in the region standings. And let's see, I think York may have one too many players out there.
They do have 12 on the field, and they're going to get called for it here.
Well, Gary, I guess if you can't stop the run and can't stop the pass, maybe you put 12 out there and hope that'll work. But that's going to be a free fiver for the Bees, so that's one of those hallmark moments where we care to give you the very best.
Yeah, 1st and 5 now, too. Not that they really need it at this point, but, just giving them 5 yards, you don't want to do that either.
And, Gary, they just need one more first down. They can pretty much just run the clock out. As Metzger goes straight ahead to midfield, it's going to be 2nd and about a yard for the first down.
Yeah, clock running here, I think probably at this point, with York punting, both teams wanting to get this over and get out of here. And, going to let this thing run down. York's got to stop them a couple of times because they will score if you let them.
Yeah, York got to not allow a big play here and make this even worse than it is right now. Upperman scored on every possession but one in the first half. No score here in the second half. It's 35-14. And Upperman just going to wait till the official holds that arm up, and you'll see that he start moving it down in the clock motion. And they'll hand it off to Metzger. Metzger's got the first down and a little bit more as he gets up to the 43-yard line. And Gary, now really you can get that victory formation now and take the snap. And
yeah, they can kneel on this and, probably I think one more. Well, they probably have to snap it twice here, Gary. So we'll see what they do.
Well, I'm going to. And there goes Metzger back in the shotgun.
Yeah, McAllister back here, Metzger the back, and, they've lined up in at least 3 wides all night. They're there again.
And they'll snap it back, and they'll hand it off to Metzger. Metzger on the right side. Metzger's got some running room, breaks the tackle, and he gets tripped up and dropped at the 13-yard line. And, Gary, the Bees don't have to snap it here. It'll be interesting to see if they rush to the line and try to score here.
Yeah, they're up at the line, but it don't look like they're in any hurry here, Gary. So may let this thing run out. Yeah, the coach is staying out there, so I think they are calling it off here.
Yeah, they're going to let the clock run out. Well, that's your final. The York Dragons drop their first game of the season as they fall here tonight to the Upperman Bees. Upperman wins it 35-21. Upperman with the win over York, and York suffers their first loss of the season and their first region loss of the season as number 4 beats number 10 here in this mammoth matchup. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back for the Progressive postgame show in just a few moments.
He's on the 30. He's on the 20. He's on the 10. It's a touchdown!
There's nothing like football. The lights, the cheers of the crowd, and getting a chance to see our local athletes and kids give it all they've got. Come to a game. Support our local schools. Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union, a better way to bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at ucfcu.org.
Your hospital in Jamestown has been tailoring its services to meet the needs of area residents for many years, and for one reason: to keep you, your family, and your neighbors healthy. Now we are proud to be serving our community once again as Jamestown Regional Medical Center. The two things that have always been at the core of your hospital: commitment and desire to make this community a healthier place to live. We are Jamestown Regional, a Renova Health company.
Like a great sports team needs a great captain to lead them, a county needs a great executive to move it forward. And Fentress County has it in Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy believes in this county and its endless possibilities. So for great sports and a great county, be like County Executive Jimmy Johnson and back Fentress County all the way.
Whether you're competing on the athletic field or working hard in the classroom, remember you have the support of First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. We're behind you 100% of the way. Good luck to all the area teams. Play tough and play fair. And remember, when it comes to helping you with your banking needs, we're First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And now over and over, it's First Volunteer for you.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium 2-topping Pizza Hut pizzas
For just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carry out.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium 2-topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges, and minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
Well, Gary, it was a tale of two halves. The first half, a lot of scoring, especially by Upperman. They scored on all but one possession in that first half. York got a couple of scores. Nobody scored in the second half, but Upperman holds on for a big win.
Yeah, they do. No scoring second half. But, that is over a 9-minute drive there that ended up in a missed field goal. And that's just demoralizing if you're York. You're trying to get off the field, get the ball back, and they just ran it all the way down. They took it all the way down the field and drive-eating plays and, time-eating plays. And ended up York got a stop on, made it 4th down and enough. They brought out the field goal kicker who hooked it to the left. But, York got the ball back, but the third quarter was essentially over, Gary, and nowhere to go for York.
Gary, you take a look at these stats. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's take a timeout for a word from Progressive Savings Bank, our sponsors for our post-game show. And then we'll be back to take a look at a few of the stats, hopefully talk with Coach Derwin Wright here in just a few moments.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the Parent Teachers Group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
And back here where York with the win or with the loss here tonight, Gary, a tough one for the Dragons. One they needed to win but just came up short on.
Yeah, they did, Gary, and just got behind early, Gary. A couple big plays and a couple long touchdown passes kindly put York in a hole and just couldn't come out of it tonight. Played them even in the second half, just not enough to overcome a first half that saw them down 3 touchdowns.
And Gary, the thing about it was they come out right off the bat. York went for a really big play. Went for a 4th down play against the Bees, and that one may have come back to haunt them.
Well, yeah, but, Gary, in the whole scheme of things, I don't know if you blame Coach Wright for that. You're trying to make something happen. It's 4th and 4. You're out near midfield, and, you really think your defense is going to have play better than they did tonight. And, you don't get the fourth down and you turn it over and it makes it look bad. But I don't know that I blame him. He's trying to play ball control. He's trying to keep control of the ball, work the clock, and it just didn't get the first down there, and that just set Upperman loose.
Well, let's take a quick timeout. I think Coach Derwin Wright's making his way up here. We'll take a timeout. We'll talk with him when we come back on the Progressive Post-Game Show.
It's football time on the mountain. At Progressive Savings Bank, we know running your small business is a lot like coaching a team. You call the plays that drive your business towards success, and we're your #1 fan. After all, you provide the products, the services, and jobs that keep our local economy moving forward. We partner with small businesses to help you reach your financial goals with free business checking and flexible financing to help operate and grow your business with the right financial equipment to keep you in the game. This is Mark Justice wishing our York Dragons a successful football season. We are proud once again to sponsor Dragon First Downs. Progressive Savings Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And back here on the Progressive Post-Game Show where the Dragons come up short 35-14. Join me, Coach Derwin Wright. And, Coach, it just seemed like in that first half you couldn't find an answer for Upperman's offense.
Well, they just executing on all phases. I didn't have them ready, and basically we got our butt kicked all phases of the game. Simple as that. We went over defense the way they were lined up and how they were playing it, but we didn't get it done. And I know kids are disappointed. I'm disappointed. We got to do is look at that film and learn from it. And we just didn't execute tonight. It wasn't our night from the beginning. I mean, we had things that we could do, but it seemed like if we misread it, we didn't make the right block. We just didn't execute, Gary.
Coach, and also tonight, your team put the ball on the ground several times. They didn't give up any of those, but that can kill a drive if you're putting the ball on the ground that many times.
Well, I still go down blocking and tackling. We got out blocked, we got out tackled, we got out executed, we got out hit tonight. And, that's not our norm to let that happen, but we got to go back to work. I kind of felt like we were getting a little lackadaisical instead of turning the heat up. I was like, okay, we've been doing pretty good, but they exploited all our weaknesses. Their coaching staff did a great job, and I just got out coached.
Coach, the tough part of this was a region loss, and your first region loss of the season.
It was, and they're a good football team. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I just don't feel like we brought our A game, and that's the disappointing thing. But if we're resilient and we study and we learn from it, we can bounce right back. But we got guys that are busting their butts, and we got some that are taking plays off, and we've got to fix it, Gary.
Coach, this game here tonight, if Sequatchie County looks at this game, they're going to come out and they're going to be your next really big one that's coming up as far as region matchup.
Right, and it's basically right now we got to look at what we're doing and we got to fix us. We bounce back and forth in defense, and we've got to decide what we're better at, and we've got to get it done. But you're right, the 52 they were running, we've seen that. We've seen that about 3 times this year, but they were being more aggressive and they were getting downhill, and their safeties were playing very physical, and we wouldn't get them blocked. But it's not something that we've not seen. Smith County used to run this very, very defense against us, and I felt like we could throw the backside post, and we did once for a touchdown. And the next time we call it, our kid don't go on the post. It's poor execution, and that's on me.
Coach, now you got to get ready for Wartburg. It's homecoming week coming up. You got Wartburg. This is going to be the test of a team to see how they bounce back after their first loss.
Well, and if they, think Wartburg's not coming to win that game, our kids will get beat again, because the one thing they do, they've got a young quarterback that is a gunslinger and a good passer, and they've got some athletes catching the ball. So, if we don't get a better pass rush and we don't get our drops and we stand there and just don't execute the way we're capable of, you know, we just got to learn from what we did wrong tonight. It's frustrating. I know as a coach we're much better than what we played tonight, but you know, some of it I don't have I don't have an understanding of why we weren't doing what we were supposed to do, or we wouldn't get in there in the speed we were. The RPO they ran early, it threw our dogs off, but you know, just got to go back and fix what we did wrong and get back on track.
And, Coach, not taking, like you said, anything away from Wartburg, but Wartburg's one of those teams to be a good one to get kind of back on track with if you can come away with a win there.
Right now, we got to fix us. You know, it don't matter who comes in. If we play like we did tonight, we're going to get a chance of getting beat. You know, I'm not worried about homecoming. Forget it. I want to get York back playing physical football and executing and making the blocks that we're supposed to make and doing the job we're supposed to do. And you know, I a little bit. I think I threw a little too much at them this week. We wanted to do some misdirection stuff, and you know, just we really didn't get anything done right.
Coach, of course, this is your last road game of the season, the regular season, and finally we get to go home for 4 of them, and that's got to sound good to you.
It does. You know, that's what I told the kids before we start this game. I said, hey, you know, both these teams are undefeated. One team's going to walk off this field tonight with a loss. And, you know, whoever it is, the response has got to be learn from what happens. You know, if we beat them, then they're going to learn from what we did. If they beat us, we got to learn from what they did to us, because this was 2 good football teams. I don't think we brought our A game. I'll just tell you, their kids come out very, very fast, very good. And hats off their coaching staff. But, you know, the thing about it is, after that, I said, we're home 4 games in a row. And, you know, it's going to be nice to be at home. You're not traveling. You're not got all that distraction going on, buses and getting meals lined up and everything else. So let's, you know, whatever happens, let's concentrate on the next 4 games and let's get better. And, you know, we want to go out and win this football game, and our kids did too. I know they were fired up coming out, but I think we just got mashed in the mouth, and we didn't respond the way that we're capable of. And again, I put that on me. I think we got a little lackadaisical in the physical part, and it showed up tonight.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for joining us. A tough loss here tonight, but we'll be looking forward to seeing what you do at homecoming this week.
All right, thank you, Gary.
And that was Coach Derwin Wright. We're going to take a timeout for a word from Progressive Sage. We'll be back to take a look at some stats from this one. We'll also pick our player of the game coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
And back here at Upperman. Gary, take a look at some of the stats from this one tonight. It was pretty lopsided.
Yeah, it was, Gary, you know, and you look at Upperman, you know, first downs. York had 9 first downs, Upperman 23. York only 104 yards rushing, Upperman 250. Yards passing, York 93 yards passing, 3 of 6 for 93 yards. Upperman 7 of 13 for 188. Total yards, York only 197 yards total offense, and Upperman with 438. It was just dominated by Upperman all the way through. Time possessions only 17:52 for York, 30 minutes and 8 seconds for Upperman. And, you know, a lot of that was that drive in the third quarter. That's where they really took control of that stat. But one stat York did win. They had 3 sacks on the night, 2 by Josiah Headings, 1 by Cole Cooper. Individually, rushing for York, Cole Cooper 7 carries, 31 yards. Josiah Headings 4 for 23. Landry Clefview 8 for 15. Ben Cooper 3 for 15. Thomas Miller 7 for 10. And Lathan Drake 1 carry, 10 yards. For Upperman, Blake Metzger 24 carries, 123 yards. Donovan McAllister 19 carries, 101 yards. Sidney Burrington 2 for 26. So those 3 guys 250 yards rushing. McAllister 7 of 13 for 188 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Lefview was 3 of 6 for 93 yards. one of those an 80-yarder to Miller for a touchdown. Lathan Drake had the other catch, 1 for 15, and Cole Cooper 1 for -2.
Now, Gary, you take a look at that stat. That's one thing when you're talking about passing. That has been York's Achilles heel. They had trouble against Smith County. Smith County put up a couple touchdowns through the air on them, and here tonight, Upperman puts 3 on them.
Yeah, they do, and 7 completions, 13 attempts, and probably could have threw some more there and didn't. They had Cole Bush 3 catches, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 72-yarder. Brewington 2 for 53 and a 42-yard touchdown. And then Penland caught 2 for 18. But, everything dominated by Upperman tonight's game. York, their leading tacklers, Landrick Lefevue had 13, 6 solos, 7 assists, 13 tackles. Ben Cooper, 6 solos, 3 assists for 9 tackles. And Cole Cooper, 6 solos, 2 assists for 8. So, a lot of, they were on the field a lot tonight, Gary, and had to make a lot of tackles.
Well, the York Dragons fall to Upperman 35-14. Time now for our Hall's Family Pharmacy Player of the Game.
Hello, this is Philip Hall with Hall Family Pharmacy. We are proud to feature this broadcast Player of the Game. For winning service that you can be proud of, choose Hall Family Pharmacy.
And Gary, this one's a tough one tonight. Who have we decided on as our Hall's Family Pharmacy Player of the Game?
Well, we considered the punter, so that ought to tell you how this is going to go. But we decided once again this week, Landrick Lefevue will be the player of the game. 8 carries for 15 yards, 3 of 6 passing for 93 yards and a touchdown. But probably the reason he's player of the game, 6 solo tackles, 7 assists, 13 total tackles on the night, and there's a lot of people thinks he could play Division I football as a linebacker, and he's really starting to show that, Gary. He's making a lot of stops. So he's our player of the game tonight.
And he also had one of his better nights throwing the football.
He did. He threw the football with authority at times. We seen him skip one in the ground, but he made a couple of really good throws, Gary, and, shows he's coming along as the season's progressing as a quarterback and as a thrower.
So the York Dragons dropped their first game of the season. It's also their first region loss of the season. They fall to Upperman by a final of 35-14. Quick thank you to our sponsors. They are Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union, State Representative John Mark Wendell, Fitness Farmers Co-op, Hall's Family Pharmacy, First Volunteer Bank, Pizza Hut of Jamestown, Condition Heating and Cooling, Meta-3 Pharmacy, Twin Lakes, also Casey Frontier Chevrolet, Jamestown Regional Medical Center, Fentress County Executive Jimmy Johnson, and Southeast Drywall are sponsors for the live broadcast, as well as State Representative Kelly Kiesling, State Senator Ken Yeager, and our pre- and post-game show brought to you by Progressive Savings Bank. Halftime stats, Old Ben Franklin Ford. Remember, folks, Fords are cheaper in the country. Also, our player of the game brought to you by Hall's Family Pharmacy. Don't forget Friday Night Thunder coming up at 10 o'clock. I'll be calling in to talk to Dennis and the guys on that one, brought to you by the Union Bank. And the Coach Derwin Wright Sports Show, also brought to you by the Union Bank in Jamestown, Clark Range, and Byrdstown. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us from here tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we'll be replaying this on Sunday on CLTV at 2 p.m. Thanks to Aaron and Gage up on camera one filming tonight. So we'll have this on Sunday beginning at 2 o'clock on CLTV. Until next Friday night when Wartburg comes to town, it's homecoming 2018. I'm Gary Clark. See you at the game.